Cool. Go ahead, Mike.
It's the rock.
Everybody, so we are live.
Session,
Long Beach. It's only right. Undisclosed location, by the way. That's right. So yeah, man, we got 3 hosts here. We got 3 people from Long Beach who are ready to really chop up some good game today. We're gonna talk a variety of things. You know, for folks who've seen some of the advertising, we're definitely gonna keep it within the theme of Black History Month. But you know, we're gonna hit on some current events as well. We're gonna talk about some pop culture, maybe a little bit of music. We're gonna mix that in, and then later on in the show, perhaps we're gonna have some of our friends actually tap in and call in, you know, on a real interactive tip and talk about some things that are going on with them. So we'll just start, gentlemen, with some brief introductions. I'll start it off, and then we'll go to my man L here, and then we'll go to Jeff. So I'm Michael Brown, North Long Beach-based activist. You know, people might know me around here for some of the blow it up.
That was like the Joe Budden, like.
Right. You know, this is a low budget affair, to be honest with you. So we don't got all the sounds figured out just yet, but they're on the way. We're gonna get some budget here one of these days. But, yeah, Long Beach-based activists. Folks know me around here for participating in some of the local movements around police brutality, some of the union stuff as well. So I'll kick it to L now, and he'll give you a brief introduction and let you know who he is.
What's up, everybody? I'm L, professor / holistic health specialist. I'm a professor, a college professor. I teach sociology. I'm here with my brothers. We're building. You know, this is new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a social media light, if you will. So, you know, I'm just vibing out. We came to have a discussion and talk about things that are going on in the world and give a different perspective. And we're just here to network and vibe and you know, share and have this experience. You know, we're trying to create this space that people can come to, where we can interact with each other and grow. You know, there are a lot of issues that need to be discussed. There's a lot of confusion about a lot of things. So, you know, we're trying to give a perspective. All right. So it's your boy L, aka the Mad Social Scientist. I'll pass it over to Jeb.
Absolutely. Cool. Jeb's over here doing, you know.
What's up, everyone? Live producing, having that fun. Nothing really to say other than let's get it. I volunteer for this platform. I encourage folks to comment. You can call in. We'll put the number up, 562-888-0553. We got video in if you're watching on an iPad or iPhone. You got comments. Yeah, just excited for conversation and to build this platform. And if you want future invites to in-person tapings or other events, hit the session group Facebook page and you can get connected on there. But yeah, excited to be in the building. Thanks, guys, for making this happen. I think it's going to be great.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I'm eager about this, fellas. I've been looking forward to this. We had like a week-long build-up into this, so let's jump right into it. So we're going to start on some current events. What's first up? What are we going to talk about first?
What's first?
There's so many things happening.
What do you guys want to get into? You know, there's like you said, a lot of things going on. You got Colin Kaepernick just signed an NDA with the NFL. They reached a settlement.
We'll start there, yeah, go ahead.
You know, again, it's an NDA, so it's a non-disclosure agreement. We don't know what the terms are.
Let me just say, when we were talking about stuff, we'll put the links under so you can read along with us as we're discussing it.
Okay, all right. Cool.
It's a good idea, right?
Yeah. So I had an interesting conversation with somebody, one of the young guys at my other job, a good friend of mine. It's my little bro, Alex. What's up? Shout out. And you know, he asked me, you know, what I think about it, and he was like, "Do you think that was a sellout move?" And what do you think, Mike? You think that was a sellout move for Kaepernick to, you know, take a settlement, even though I guess the media made him the face of, you know, black issues.
What up, James? My guy from Denver. Shout out. Go ahead, my bad.
Well, I was just. What do you think? Do you think that
was a sellout move? You know, we heard a lot of that. Remember when he did the Nike deal? Right. He did the whole commercial thing with Nike, and a lot of people, you know, were like, "Is that a sellout? Is he watering down the movement?" That definitely was a watered down move in terms of that commercial that they put out.
Right.
Because all of the political content of why he was kneeling in the first place, which was a stance against police terror. I mean, as we all know, Nike's not going anywhere near that. So, I mean, that definitely, he definitely compromised himself on that. Now, as far as this latest thing here, I mean, I read a good op-ed the other day by Jamil Hill that ran in the, I believe it ran in the Atlantic. Yeah, she's a columnist there. She used to be on ESPN.
She used to be at ESPN, and she said something about Trump that was controversial, and she ended up losing her job.
They ran her up out of there.
Right.
Yeah, she got a big payout too.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But yeah, as far as this being a sellout thing, you know what?
I guess she didn't sign an NDA because usually when you get fired and they give you a settlement for that, the terms are that you can't talk about, you can't be political, or you can't interact in those same arenas anymore because you get this payout.
Yeah,
so.
I think she might have got a little bit of one because when she went on the Breakfast Club, she was real like mum and real close vested about some of the things that happened there. Although she spoke out a little bit, but no, she was censoring herself. So I'm guessing she got some M's.
What did her article say?
Basically, it said that he won.
Okay.
She declared him the winner of this whole impasse.
Where was that on?
With the owners. That was on the Atlantic. Jamil Hill, the Atlantic. And basically, I think the title of it was, Colin Kaepernick won this round. And just the gist of it is that, I mean, the fact that the owners paid him to basically just be quiet and go away. There we go. That's it. But the owners paid him to go away because there was such incriminating or damning evidence against the ownership. And obviously, there were some things that they did not want aired out, which is another reason why I think they wrote that check for him and Eric Reed to go away. Because I could just imagine what was in those emails. You got a bunch of very wealthy, arrogant white men. I mean, we saw some of the public comments by people like, Houston Texans owner Bob McNair, where he's calling NFL players, basically prisoners and inmates.
Yeah, well, we know with the NFL, the owners
plantation shit, right? It's some plantation shit. Yeah, so definitely. I could just imagine what was in those private emails.
Yeah, I wasn't mad. I don't know if I can be mad at him for cashing in on that. My thing is, so my friend asked me, my response was that because, my friend is from Switzerland, and the media has a way of presenting things a little distorted, so him taking a stand to us did not make him the face of black plight, right? He used his celebrity to address something that he believed in, that he felt he believed in.
Right.
For us to say that Colin Kaepernick is where we should place all our faith in, and it starts and ends with him, and what he does, it has an effect on us, is not really fair to the struggle, and I don't know if we should give him that much credit.
I like that Nike ad, though.
I do, too.
Or the photo, it just fucked my head up because I was like, what's going on right now?
Well,
it was like one of the biggest brands and like the biggest. Have we ever seen that level of co-optation in real time of a social movement?
I think Nike was
globally.
That's a good question.
But I think
that impression level.
I think Nike was drawing the line on their profit though, because
white guys started fucking stopping selling Nike in their stores. You hear about that guy?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Bankrupt.
I heard about that. But the thing with Nike is, I think Nike was just protecting their product, their brand. They know who buys Nike more than anybody.
Well, that's dope. That means that black politic is not only shifting culture, it's shifting capitalism.
But is it? How much money does Nike put into black communities that's not related to their profit in the sports market or the sports industry?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He just gave me hope that some stuff was shifting. He reminded me, like when we talked last time about Frank Ocean, like I felt like Kaepernick was doing something not just economically but politically in the space that was different. That's all. I don't know what it is exactly, but I feel like it's I said it's just shifting things. I didn't say ending Kaepernick. I said shifting.
I think that Kaepernick was acting on, I don't want to say impulse, but I think that he used his celebrity to address something that he felt was necessary. That's cool. We wish more athletes would do that. But to act like Colin Kaepernick somehow is like a game changer for what he did.
My guy Ray from the Bay. What's up,
Again,
Ray?
I feel like that's like a reduction of the struggle, and it's giving too much credit to one person when, he took a knee. That's a good thing. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? But to act like Kaepernick was a game changer, I think that's a little too far-fetched. Therefore, him taking that settlement, I don't know if I'm mad at him. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what I am disappointed at. If he took that money and then he gets to go back. How much was it? We don't know.
Speculation is 60 to 80 million.
Probably not.
M's.
Now there's another thing.
Took that money from Comedy Central that they took from Chappelle?
Not even that. 80 million amongst how many NFL team owners? Because it's a franchise.
Yeah, that's a dollar in the bucket for them.
So they all put in their 2 cents to pay that bill. Gross. That's like a weekend, an expensive party for them. Yeah, exactly. That's not a lot of money. So what really happened. I pay you $80 million to sit on the bench and shut up. You know,
It's hush money. No,
Yeah.
it's hush money.
now some people are saying that he did what he did because his career was on the end, was on the downfall, and this was his way to kind of assert his, to make a little more money and put himself in the spotlight. I don't necessarily.
I'm not that cynical.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, let me get back to whether he's sold out or not. I don't think so. I mean, one thing that I am going to say that I'm happy about is somebody who's a big sports fan, and also I'm into the history of sports. I mean, traditionally when guys like Kurt Flood took his stance, it destroyed him. As he challenged baseball to become the first free agent. You think about somebody like Smith and Carlos at the '68 Olympics,
Right.
when they put the Black Power fist up.
Right. Their
Their careers were never the same after that. So,
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
absolutely, he got blackballed.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
he literally got blackballed.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
Craig
isn't
Hodges.
new. This is nothing new,
Right. But he's the first one to not get destroyed by it. And I think the reason because of that is because, it's important that we don't focus on one man because there was a movement that preceded him
Right.
that opened up the space so that he could kneel. People weren't kneeling 8 and 9 years ago. They were kneeling after Ferguson. They've been kneeling after Baltimore.
Right.
And after the Black Lives Matter opened up enough political space
Right.
so that it then, it could become, I won't say safe because we saw that he got blackballed, but the fact that he felt, that it was safe enough to do something like that. Not just him, but we've seen guys like LeBron stepping up and other people making statements and doing things. We didn't see none of this a decade ago, not in pro sports.
Right.
All these kids grew up on Michael Jordan, who was the ultimate apolitical, cash cow
You're
athlete.
being nice when you call him apolitical.
I want to say so.
Prison-
we can be
Prison profiteer.
No.
No,
Yeah,
that's a
that
myth.
too. We
I think
know
that's
that
a
now,
myth.
but
That's how they tried to drum up that. That was like a conspiracy for a while.
Yeah,
right?
it was
no,
a myth.
I think
but
that was accurate.
Or
I
is it,
think
is it just meant it was in his investment portfolio, which
Yeah.
is in most people's,
most people
probably
with that kind
it's all
of money.
interconnected. So.
and that he didn't manage his own portfolio.
Exactly. I don't
But
think
they
that he
said this is good money because prisons are profitable.
exactly, and him not
Attention
caring.
seekers.
Not I won't say him not knowing any better, but he's like he said, he's apolitical. I don't know if he's informed enough to know to even take a stand. But Michael Jordan has always had that reputation.
I think he was pretty calculated. Remember, he's the guy who
Yeah.
said, literally blackballed? There's receipts, man. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Chris Jackson. I remember when he was at
Chris
LSU.
Jackson, right?
I'm a
He
long
was the
time college
All-American.
basketball
They
fan.
love the original Steph Curry. That's who
Ooh,
Mahmoud
that's a good one. He was
Abdul-Rauf.
light-skinned, too.
Yo, I watched the game live with my dad. He was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and Hakeem Olajuwon were my dad's two favorite
Wow,
NBA players.
Damn, okay.
And I watched the game live. That when they told him he couldn't, because at first he stopped standing for the national anthem.
Right.
Then they told him he had to stand for the national anthem. But he became a Muslim, kind of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Remember, he was the All-American. They loved him.
I remember that. Win the lottery.
All
right?
of that, right? And then he goes into the NBA and becomes a Muslim, changes his name. He refuses to stand for the national anthem for the same reasons that Kaepernick's,
That's
different context, but pretty much the same reasons. And so they said, no, you got to stand. So he stood up and he did his salat. He did his prayer.
That's
Put
right.
His
he
hands
did
up.
do that.
And that was the last time you ever saw
He was
Mahmoud
scoring like 18
Abdul-Rauf.
points a game when he got rid of him.
The,
Jay, what
the
you...
year that the Bulls went 72-10,
Right.
2 of their losses came to the Denver Nuggets under Mahmoud. Ask Michael Jordan who his biggest headache was.
Yeah, that
during
boy was
the
a
90s.
gunner. We don't want to get off on the sports tip
But
too much,
he was
but
a
that boy was
bad
a gunner, man.
boy, though. He was
I remember
bad.
him. He was like 6 feet, too. Boy was bad, man. He was a gunner.
And one more thing I told my friend about Kaepernick was that I don't know if he's selling out, if he puts that money back into good use.
That's another thing.
But my thing with Nike, Jeb, right? Just remember, if they're really about doing what they're proposing there, or with the Kaepernick, and they're all about social justice, why don't they work with real activists? Why didn't they have real activists in that commercial?
Are you kidding me?
Why would they? No, I'm saying if we're shifting and they're all about
No, of
issues,
course. Yeah, you're
why
right.
not? Because
I just meant shifting culture. Not
but
the
they
fucking
know,
money.
they have to know. They have $1 million think tanks. It's Nike. They have more money than
Right.
any God. Exactly, right? If they really were serious about it, they should create programs. They should put money back into the communities.
Right.
They should do something that shows that they stand in solidarity with black people and the struggles that black people
Isn't
go
that
through.
impossible for Nike to do?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because of what they are,
What are they?
what they
They're in
represent.
the business of selling shoes.
I
They
know,
are not
but
selling.
who is their biggest
a
problem?
global conglomerate that's like eating.
Who's their
Yeah.
biggest customer though?
Right. Well, no.
Do
That's
they
a
think
good
they
point.
lose money? They're not a political organization. They don't lose any money.
Right.
And they're not necessarily located in the United States. Like you said, they're a global
They're in
conglomerate.
Portland.
They are
But
based
they're
there.
a global conglomerate, like you said. So is it not in their best
Multinational,
interest?
yeah.
is it not in their best interest to take it there?
I don't look for multinational corporations that have a conscience. I mean, they've never had it to this point, so I don't think Nike's going to change at all. But I think all Nike did, man, was they read the tea leaves. They know who buys their shoes. Like you said earlier,
exactly.
They didn't care about the old white guys burning.
Nah, they don't.
You saw those shoes they know
that those old white guys
New
on
Balance?
Because those old white guys,
Nikes.
New Balance?
I think
The
you're right
90s.
about the culture shift. And maybe
They knew who's buying Jordans.
there might be
New
some truth
Balance.
to what you said, Jed. Maybe there is a cultural shift because these old white owners, it seems like that
Dude,
might...
we could talk black capitalism this whole 30 minutes. Like, what do we want to talk about? The rise of black capitalism through hip hop, like major right now, taking over almost. We could talk about
And
every
not for the better
industry,
either.
and that's the debate.
Yeah, not for the better.
We're watching black capitalism play out.
Right.
Let's stay on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. But what else? It sounded like that was an interesting conversation you had with this friend of yours. So where did he ultimately fall on this? Did he think Kaepernick was a sellout?
Yeah, that was the first
okay.
thing, and he knows I'm a teacher, and he and I have a lot of conversations about social issues in the United States, and particularly race, class, and whatnot. So, naturally, I was the first person he called. Like, yo, what do you? Because he told me about the settlement. I didn't know about the settlement.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I try not to
They did it on Friday.
I do my best to not be impulsive when I hear stuff like that. We live in this shock culture, shock politics, and shock news.
We're here with our hot takes.
Right. We're supposed to respond. Oh my God! Did you hear? So I didn't want to say anything.
Throw money at us.
Yeah.
Hot take.
I didn't want to say anything until I knew the facts, and I guess it is. The facts are exactly as he pointed out, and I said, if he puts that money into good use, into what he said he believes in, I don't know if I can call him a sellout. But if he just takes that money and goes back to the bench and and that's it, he just wants to go play football and he got his check, then I don't know. Maybe he was just, maybe it was just an attention thing. They say it was his girlfriend. He wasn't political until he started dating the girl that had the podcast, the one that...
I know you're talking about.
No, he's been in the streets of Oakland, though.
Yeah.
He's been doing Know Your Rights trainings for a year, bro.
No, I'm saying before, his girlfriend is the one, because people are like, well, where's his political background prior to all of this?
He was taking classes at Berkeley.
Okay, because
that's what he said in interviews, that he got politicized in some classes at Berkeley.
They're saying that his politics though personally come from his relationship with his girlfriend.
Which nothing's wrong with that. That's okay.
She has a podcast. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Who says that? When you say people, it's just so we can put up the link.
Oh, I mean, that's what my friend told me. He said that's one of the things that was presented. That's the speculation.
And that's okay because usually
she apparently is very political.
Right. No, I've seen her social media.
And they say that he check out if there's an article about him losing his deal with the Ravens because of she posted a meme.
Oh, she called Ray Lewis
the Raven,
sellout.
She posted a meme of Django with the owner of the Ravens' face over DiCaprio's face. And put Ray Lewis's face on Samuel Jackson's face.
I loved it.
And they said
it was on point.
After that meme came out, that was what killed the deal. But so
allegedly, that's what they say. But I thought she was on point with that. But that's okay. I mean, all of us. I don't think any of us just pull these ideas out of the sky. So if he got with his better half, who's schooling them to some things and hey, look at it like this.
Bleacher Report is
hey, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. So all in all, I don't think the man's a sellout. I think he is going to do something with that money.
We're all about sources, by the way.
Absolutely.
Credible sources.
Yeah, straight from Kaepernick's mouth there, and then the Bleacher Report is consistent.
We're all about credible sources.
All about the receipts.
Bleacher's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sports.
Sports. Yeah, that's
they get some little innuendo here and there, but no, this is official because I actually saw that tweet and it was
real news alert. Real news alert.
This is a good segue. This is a good segue into what you brought up about justice reform. Now, Jay-Z and Meek Mill are working on justice reform. Thoughts?
With Bob Kraft.
With Bob Kraft.
New England Patriots.
Before we get to him, though.
You want to work on that first?
Yeah, because that's the whole
the whole story. It's all together.
Yeah, but Bob Kraft ties into...
you want to just go in the chronology?
Well, no, I'm just saying Bob Kraft ties into a much deeper...
Where do you want to start time-wise?
Because we were talking about black entertainers and...
Meek and Jay-Z reform.
Reform, all right. Go ahead. And then we can get into Robert Kraft and move him in with R. Kelly.
So we're talking end of January.
Right.
Meek Mill, they launched a prison reform org, so what about it?
I really, 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 really have I have a real serious problem with the ways that I take my hat off because I think that Jay-Z's heart and Meek Mill's heart is in the right place.
Right. Get that out the way.
But
now come with the
but
ego.
I'm in my 30s, by the way. I'm not on look.
Oh, by the way, guys, we can listen to stuff just on the laptop speakers right here for reference.
Okay.
And that'll be okay. So I realize we can do that. If we
Okay.
need to.
You know, Jay-Z is the ultimate capitalist. You know, and I
That was when we first fought. Do you remember?
probably
What y'all argue over?
We don't
His
fight.
hate of Jay-Z.
Actually,
I love Jay-Z so much.
Jay-Z the
I'm on your side
capitalist.
as far as critically
Jay-Z the
criticizing.
capitalist. I don't
I
like
call him a
very much.
businessman.
But Jay-Z the MC, top 5 dead or alive.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Top 5 dead or alive. If not the nicest MC.
You
That's
make
just
the
my
argument.
personal experience.
Right.
My personal
Cultural
opinion.
impact number one, I think.
But and again, I take my hat off for people even if it's late in the game, even though he's 50 something, if he happens to wake up now and he's seeing things and he wants to make a change, I'm cool with that. Here's my thing. Let the people who have been doing that, give the people who have been doing that work the resources and the platform to really address these issues. Meek Mill, just because he's been to jail, I've been to jail, doesn't make him not prison jail. I've been, a night or two.
Not jail.
Not jail. But
Right.
these
There's a
guys are
difference.
not experts
You gotta walk around with your own
on the
clothes
issues that they're.
You gotta read the articles, man. Look who's the CEO.
Yeah. We're gonna get to that. Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna get into that.
I know his roots though, but he's strayed from them. That's true.
I mean, come on, anybody on CNN, man, all of those guys are.
No, but I mean, Mike, we have an interesting. I just because I'm in Oakland and I know there's some backstory to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just like all these celebrities that are, I feel like they're exploiting the struggle, man. Like, give that platform to somebody who knows the issues, who can really negotiate or deal with it with the way it should be dealt with. Jay-Z is not learned enough. Meek Mill is definitely not learned enough to be the spokesperson for criminal justice reform.
I mean, I want to talk Van Jones. I think that'd be interesting, but I want to say, I don't hear Mike's take on it, but I just want to say that this is an interesting quote from Jones that he said it's the opportunity of a lifetime, and I just want to say, like, watching his moves that he's done from being a CEO of the Ella Baker Center, which a lot of people don't know, he founded that in the Bay Area as a training ground for grassroots, was big at calling out KMEL, hip hop radio, before anyone called out radio, about representing the actual streets, and he went through that whole shit when the Tea Party came up. He was the first victim in the Obama administration.
I remember that.
Green for all. They went after
Green
that.
for all,
I
and
remember
he took the L for the team. So to
Mama
me,
threw him under the bus.
well, I mean, yeah, you're right. He probably didn't choose that.
He threw his ass under that bus.
But I'm saying that, like, he's done a lot of different projects, but he hasn't claimed CEO. He's been like supporter or director or consultant. Like, so I don't know. I'm just like, aside from your feelings about Van Jones, I root for the guy just because of his track record. But like, we can talk about his time on CNN. And to me, that's the difference.
Right.
But street work and talking head work is two different things.
That's true.
So I just want to differentiate it. But I'm saying that, like, I'm excited to see where he goes with this career-wise. But impact, 100%. I just want to shout out Critical Resistance as an incredible abolition organization nationally. And then any other orgs that people should be paying attention to. But your Van Jones or whatever you want to
before you go, because I don't follow anybody.
Don't talk about stuff you don't.
Yeah, I don't know him enough. I've heard what your sentiments seem to be about him.
Right.
But I haven't. I don't follow anybody on CNN anymore. I just know what
probably the best way.
about.
That's the best route to go.
But Jeb, what do you?
Cooper's New Year's Eve show though is lit.
Oh, I saw that clip.
What do you have to say about people who have these backgrounds where they put in their work, right? They've been on the streets, and then later on, they become.
No, I can come back with it, but I want to hear the balance because Mike has.
Okay, that's actually a good question, man. Because
like selling out later and cashing out after you.
That's what it is. You build up that street credibility.
Well, what do you think? I don't know. I'm not a huge Van Jones guy, but I see him crying on CNN before. I see him do like this weird stuff.
I'm not a fan of him on camera. I'm not a fan of any platform that's like makes people into deities. But Mike, break it down. So your Van thing, your org stuff, criminal.
Well, I want to start with criminal justice reform first. So, without even knowing all the details of this, I've only scanned a little bit of what their ideas of criminal justice reform are. But I mean, I'm skeptical anyway, just because of who they're in ranks with, who these guys are moving with. I mean, they're moving with
Robert Kraft.
Right? Yeah, the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. It's like who? what background do these guys have? It's like
The
I don't.
Patriots, bro.
Exactly.
Who rooted for the Patriots in the Super Bowl?
He gave $1 million to Trump. So what is his
He did.
interest in criminal justice reform? You know, I think we got to be careful about reform because reform tends to, you know, I won't even say tends, but there's been times where it's actually made things worse. Like
Brooklyn Nets that used co-owner that used Jay-Z to make people feel like.
So that's a connection there.
Use Jay-Z to help gentrify Brooklyn.
Absolutely, that was a big part of it. And Jay-Z was just a figurehead.
He doesn't even have seats. He doesn't even have floor seats.
Not anymore. He used to.
figurehead.
But did you see the video?
That's all he got, though.
Did you see the video where they showed the meeting years ago? The meeting with Jay-Z, the meeting that they had and everything. It was Jay-Z in his white tee sitting with his head down like
Meeting with what, the Nets?
Yeah, it was a room full of old white men, just Jay-Z in there by himself, and they sold the idea that
Jay-Z
it's
wouldn't be there by
Jay-Z's
himself,
team. They sold the community on the idea that it's Jay-Z's.
But they needed a face.
But he he never had any shares that could
Magic
put,
owns more of the Lakers than Jay-Z owns the damn. Magic owns more of the Dodgers, and he's just a figurehead.
Where's that video?
It wasn't. It was a picture that I saw. It wasn't a video.
That wouldn't surprise
me. It was a picture,
me,
and it was old. It was like right when it happened. This must have been. How long has the Nets been around? This was like even right before they even.
I mean, they broke ground on that center. I think over a decade ago or something like that.
I don't even know, man.
He's been around for a minute, but yeah, I mean,
get that
without
picture
even getting the picture. I mean, I think that speaks to another important
black
point. when we talk
capitalist.
about-
Obviously, he's in rooms with white guys. He's like a billionaire, bro.
But I mean, what's his agenda like? And now he's Mr. Justice Reform. What does he know about justice reform? Even the idea of, oh, well, let's teach cops how to be culturally sensitive. That's not going to fix institutional racism.
Right.
I tell my students, I ask them, I say, what's racist? The cops that shoot unarmed.
There it is.
Is it cops that shoot unarmed black men, unarmed black and brown men, or is it the system? What's racist? The cops or the system that protects them? You know what I'm saying? So unless you're addressing this from an institutional, on the level of the institution, it's a game. It's a joke. It's a game. They're just playing a game, and these guys are not qualified to know that it's a game. Get the experts in there and let them deal with real people who have worked their whole lives on justice reform to come and reform justice, not rappers and you know.
You could use celebrity if you just put your money and energy behind local, which is what Kaepernick's done in Oakland.
That's what I'm saying. If they're really serious about it, then get your face out of it. Let people who do that work do that work.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I mean, unless there have been athletes and entertainers.
They give a lot of money. Yeah.
Who've been, really good on these issues. You got to go back a little bit. But, I mean, just speaking of Van Jones, I think that's why they're going to funnel that money to his group.
If somebody commits a
that's
crime,
always my
they should
question.
go to jail. So should we throw your ass in jail, Mr. I sell crack?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is a profound quote that CNN ends with.
Is everybody saying this quote?
No, not everyone's saying it. I just pulled it up real time. We want to be this ends that article we just posted. We want to be very clear. If someone commits a crime, they should go to jail, Jay-Z said. But these things are just disproportionate, and the world knows it. Right. So that's a reform perspective. It's not an abolitionist perspective.
Right.
So Jay-Z believes in the institution of jail and in some form of what crime means, which is defined by the state as not conforming to what the state needs. So that's not a shot at Jay. And Dream Hampton's worked with Jay-Z for a long time. She's talked about this. When Jay did the cartoon about the criminal justice system, that was a Dream Hampton assist. Mm-hmm. She co-wrote his book. What was it called? Decoded.
Yeah.
So and then she'd have.
Did you
of
read
course,
that?
And well, so most recently, Dream did the Surviving R. Kelly thing. I'm just saying that Dream has long hoped for the political rapper in the political person in Jay-Z. But we all hope that for everyone, building consciousness. I'm just saying that suggests where Jay's politics are, and it's not critical resistance. It's not an abolitionist perspective.
Do you believe
it's an investment in the state, the carceral state?
Do you believe that Jay-Z is really his agenda is really to reform justice, or he's rebranding himself?
That's a good quote. Shout out to James from Denver.
Shout out to James, yo.
Salute. That's
do you think that do you guys think that Jay-Z is an opportunist in this case, or that he's really willing, not even if his heart is in the right place, because I'm sure it is. Yeah. Right? I'm sure he really wants to do it.
Him and Beyonce
does he understand what door he's knocking on, and is he really willing to walk through that door? Because when you start talking about real justice reform, you might lose your life. Right? That Marianne,
at least your career, because Kraft's out.
At least your career. Who? Kraft?
Kraft.
He's out?
Basically, he's going to be out.
You think so?
I don't think so. I mean, depending if that's
The jury's
if
out.
it's about
Yeah,
kids,
we'll see about that.
he might be out. But no, I don't think
But
so.
they're
If
not
it's-
going to let it get that far, because if Kraft is out, every other owner is out. What do you think? Who hangs out at prostitution rings? Are we going to segue into that now?
Somebody's actually been putting
Human
up
trafficking. Where do all of these people go, and who goes to who enjoys that?
I'm just saying Fox News. Fox News doesn't seem to be happy. Fox News.
Doesn't seem to be happy with that.
the billionaire. They're focusing on that guy because there was two other bigwigs who got caught up in this thing too. So
I don't want to put my
Yeah.
Fox News on Mike's stuff, but I'm just saying.
But
I mean, if
but
it's a source, you
that's
Do you think it's helpful?
that doesn't
It
mean
shows
anything.
The Patriots.
He just made the-
constituency going against him, basically.
Yeah, but that's because you got the Me Too movement going on. This is a very powerful person. The last thing they want is white man 303 to be on the list for sexual assault.
right.
White man 300
We
on
don't
the
even know
list
all
of
the
all the other
details.
302 powerful
You on
white men
CNN, Mike?
who are on
Yeah,
that
that's
list.
solid.
Can we post the list of all of the powerful people that have been accused of
Okay. That list is
There's-
probably it's like a scroll, man. It's like
That's
a
what I'm
fucking
saying. That's why I said the
scroll.
303 old powerful white men. I mean, like,
way too long.
they're not. If R. Kelly walked away 10 years ago, and the video was there, the evidence was there, you think? I mean, even if they ask him to leave, he's what, 80 years old? How much is he going to
Yeah,
pay
well, that's
out?
what they did to the Carolina Panthers owner. Remember that 2 years ago? A lot of racist stuff came out about him, and they made him sell the team. Same thing with Sterling.
It's
He was
Sterling.
going to sell
Yeah,
the
but-
Clippers.
Yeah, but
So,
what did they pay him? What did they give him? $2 billion?
oh, for the team, yeah, at
Yeah.
least. I mean,
So-
another very wealthy guy bought it from him.
Yeah.
So,
I guess what I'm saying is maybe they'll get rid of him, Jeb. I'm not saying they won't, but he won't really lose anything other than his title
maybe some prestige.
and
I
his
guess.
little status. Nah, if you're a billionaire, what
True.
prestige do you
True.
lose?
You could buy some.
Yeah,
You're like, I
exactly.
want, hey, prestige, come over
Come
here.
over here. Let me hang out with you for a
Let me
few
buy
years
you
till I
real
die.
quick.
I only got like 6 left. Let's smoke a joint.
I didn't know he was 80. Damn, he's old.
I
He's
don't know.
that
He
old.
looks 80.
Yeah,
He's
damn.
probably not 80, but he looks 80. I think he's like 70 or something.
We'll see when all those details come out because we're just scratching the surface with this thing. What up, Nia? Holla. That's my homegirl from the Bay Area.
What's up,
She was
what's up?
down here. I hope you good, Nia. Shout out. Much love.
And like, let people know if you see people you know, they can call in and video in soon if they'd like to.
Absolutely.
Or anytime you can just jump to it too.
For sure, yeah. If people got any thoughts on this, this is interactive too. So we don't want to just talk at y'all. We definitely want to get out there and chop it up and put our ideas out there. But I mean, if you want to call in or video in or whatever and give us some opinions, hey, we open to that. We're gonna take that. So, but yeah,
I think
Van Jones is a bum.
Van Jones is a bum. I don't
Just
know
sum it
Van
up.
Jones enough. I've heard him say some things that rub me the wrong way. But I'm skeptical of anybody that's on mainstream news, particularly anybody on CNN.
That's
I
a
think
good
the only thing
skepticism.
CNN is good for is reporting events as they happen. But as far as covering issues, I think they're a joke. I think it's propaganda. So I don't really pay attention to that. And I know most of the black people that you see on there. Well, you said that Van Jones is learned and he's put in his work, but people like Joy Reid and Angela Rye and all the other commentators, I don't think they're learned enough to have the platforms that they have. The Roland Martins, I don't think they're learned enough. I think that they're gatekeepers and they're following a narrative that is very uninformed. It's not based on research. It's based on feel-good politics, and they don't really address any real issues.
Speak. Look
So,
at this.
I don't
airing it out.
I don't rock with
Don't
CNN.
hold back at all. Hell.
And
Don't
as
hold
far
back.
as Meek Mill and Jay, I'm not going to like throw them under the bus. If I
Me
think their
neither.
hearts are in the right place, I just hope that as time goes by, they realize that just their celebrity is enough. But when it comes to dealing with the issues, they need to step aside and give that platform to people who are qualified to address those issues.
Or get down in the dirt and really, do the work. To get down in the dirt, do the work. Bars.
Now we
I
I got bars.
Now
I would love to see Jay-Z canvassing.
I'd like to see it too.
Like Oprah did.
You know,
Jeb
Jeb
That one
just
door, I
doesn't,
saw that.
Jeb doesn't
Yeah, I
love
saw that.
Jay. He doesn't want his heart. He's trying to find something optimistic about your boy Hov.
Yeah.
Like he can't, like it's Hov, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
But
gonna drop some Jay-Z songs down below, and you all be the judge.
Jay's the best.
Y'all
yo.
be the judge.
As
See
far
how
as
it moves
rap,
you. Just see how it moves you. You know?
as far as rap, Jay's my man. Y'all grew up on Jay. I grew
know.
up on Jay. Dead Presidents is one of my
Ooh,
favorite
you taking
songs
it back to
ever.
Reasonable
It
Doubt.
changed my life. I won't tell you how, but Dead Presidents changed my life when I was a teenager. But I will tell you how. That's for another conversation.
East Coast
when the
Bobby,
cameras are
West
off.
Coast Cap Pillars.
You know what I'm
Yikes.
saying? But
That boy was on one then. He was
yeah.
talking that shit then. Jay was just
lyrically,
spitting that
Jay's
game.
my man. But when it comes to remember he's a capitalist, and if we grew up in that era, we know what the Jay-Z's and the P Diddy's have done to a lot of people's careers, and we know how the industry has worked to create this pop culture, this capitalist narrative in black culture. You know what I'm saying? The big pimping, the money, to get
Absolutely.
the bag shit. All that shit comes through Jay-Z. So
He's got some
I don't
cold
know.
boards too.
I
But
got
yeah,
a
I
question.
understand. He's been the biggest name for what, a couple of decades.
And there's
now,
a
just in terms
reason.
of
Remember,
rap.
we talked about this. They pick and choose who they want to be the face, right? So
Right. He's nice what he is too, though.
oh yeah, he's nice.
Yeah, we
it
ain't gonna take
helps.
that from him.
It's like Barack Obama. It helps when the person we choose
Right.
happens to be overqualified, qualified for the job.
Yeah,
You know what I
say
mean?
what you want about Obama. That dude was charismatic
I
as
know.
hell, a great speaker.
What did they say?
And,
He looks
Jay's like
he
the
looks
hip-hop
like
version.
Malcolm, talks like Martin.
He moves like who was he moving like?
I don't know. He moves like capitalism. baby.
Yeah.
I heard he gets $400,000 a speech now.
Ooh, I wouldn't doubt it. That's
Something
probably
like
low.
that.
That's
That's
probably
low.
conservative.
I
Is this a
don't
new podcast? What up, Nia? Yeah, sort of. We're just trying some things out. We're working out some kinks here. So yeah, it's just very topic driven, and this is our second one that we've done. So I think we did one about a month ago. So this is our first time back.
Maybe 3
so.
if you count the Super Bowl.
Oh, the Super
Yeah,
Bowl
the
one?
Super
Yeah, we
Bowl.
did something during the Super Bowl. So, yeah, we're going to be doing this on a semi-regular basis. As of right now, we don't have a schedule, so we don't know if this is a weekly thing, but I don't know. If y'all feeling it,
Roughly it's been.
Yeah.
hopefully,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, if
We've
y'all
done every
feeling it,
week
we're
and
going
a
to
half,
come back.
2 weeks.
Mike, I have a question, man.
What's the question?
Just
Shoot.
before we segue into the next topic, the whole Colin Kaepernick and football thing, right?
We did just
You
on
watch
record, we did
football,
Kaepernick
right?
for like a half an hour.
I sat out this year, man, but I did
Oh,
watch
okay.
the
You
Super
sure?
Bowl.
You sure you said?
I sat it
Okay.
out, man.
Because
Absolutely.
I find it, and I'm gonna this. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying
Right.
like society or people in general. We gotta be, we can't be hypocrites. We can't say that we support Kaepernick, but we don't want to take the jerseys off. And, we have to watch football every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. In my classroom, when I talk about capitalism to my students, they're like, yeah, I get it. Surplus labor, yeah, something's wrong with it. And then I start talking about consumerism, and the ways that we contribute to the economy by consuming and consuming. And it's like, okay, you can blame the man for creating this system, right? But how much do we participate in it as individuals? What sacrifices are we willing to make? Buying stuff and watching things and sports, for example. We have to stand for something. So
Yeah. No, I hear you on that.
anybody who stands with Kaepernick should not be watching football. Now it's easy for me to say that. 'Cause
Right.
don't watch
I kind of
football.
see it both ways because I
I like how L offers all these ultimatums that are like impossible for anyone to live by.
Why?
Yeah, 'cause,
Why
no,
is that
I mean, you gotta
impossible?
eat. You can't. You actually.
You are
first off,
never gonna watch football.
You see how you said it too.
And then he goes, okay, maybe you probably.
Yeah. Little cliffhanger there at the
No,
end. I like
I'm
that.
saying I'm keeping it 100. When
No,
I
you
say
kept it
people,
100, then you took it down to like 90.
No,
then
when
you went back up.
Watered down a little bit.
You know what it is?
Diluted a little bit.
You know what it is? Because I have to keep myself in we and not
Yeah.
single myself
Yes.
out and act like it's just other
Yes.
people doing this. No, we're
Yeah.
all guilty of it, you
Right.
know. But by presenting it, how do we hold ourselves accountable? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think if you're building a movement or something, first off, I think it has to be on the same page and coherent. I don't think the NFL boycott thing was ever on the same page. So I wasn't mad at anybody who was still watching football but still had Colin Kaepernick's back. And also, I think there are limitations to things like consumer boycotts. That's not really where I
Well, I'm talking about black people specifically.
Well, even
Black
then,
people
we're
should
exempt.
not be
We're
watching
people.
football because you know what I mean. Like I get how anybody else could. It's very cultural. But if you're about your politics and you really stand in solidarity
Yeah.
with
Well,
Kaepernick,
first off, everybody's not about the politics.
that's true.
So,
But for those who say that they are,
right.
you know
Okay.
what I mean?
I think a lot of people. I mean, we saw the ratings go down these last 2 years.
Yeah.
They're saying the reason is because of the backlash against Kaepernick. I'd like to actually, say on the reverse end. I think there were some people who were in support of Kaepernick, like me, this last year. I did not watch football until the Super Bowl came around, and then
my uncle, shout out to Uncle Paul. What's up, man?
What did he adhere to the boycott?
He said yes. He said he doesn't watch football, but I don't believe it.
Have faith in your old man, man.
I'm joking. I just know how much we love sports, baby. You know?
Yeah.
We'll kill somebody before they take our football and basketball away.
But that's the thing,
We're
though.
talking
Like I
cabinet
said.
like 40 minutes, so I gotta switch it up.
Okay. Robert Kraft.
No, something like, there's a lot of good stuff. We should do completely different.
Okay.
Let's get Monday
What y'all
football
want to
for
hit? You
2
want to hit that
hours.
R. Kelly thing? That R. Kelly thing's out there. Man.
It's today's news.
That R. Kelly
You guys
thing.
want to touch on the R. Kelly?
I
thing?
mean, it's today's news. I think
Pause.
so.
It's been the last couple of days.
No, he
touched
went
on
to
R.
jail
Kelly.
today and he got $1 million bail.
He got
Right.
$1 million bill. I think he's gonna get off because I don't know what the statute of limitations are.
You
and
need
I don't.
anything else, Mike?
I'm
No,
good.
you
I'm straight.
Yeah, I'm good.
This
Thank
is
you.
live, folks. Raw and uncut. So, you know, as you're seeing it, as it's happening.
No, that's what's
I
gonna
don't
be
know,
fun.
man. I'll listen to what you guys have to say. I have a very simple take on the R. Kelly thing.
Okay. Well, you want me to jump in first? So as far as R. Kelly, let me preface my comments first so nobody come in my neck. So, R. Kelly, POS, totally. Very sick man.
POS.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
We're going to try to keep it, as less profane as possible, but, we are grown up, so we're going to keep it raw and uncut, too. But R. Kelly, very sick man, very problematic. I'm a child of the 90s, so I remember actually reading that Vibe story that they ran about him in 94, I believe, marrying Aaliyah. So that's how far I go back with this whole R. Kelly thing. And once the tape came out in the early 2000s, I mean, everybody remembers, there was no YouTube and all the social media then. So that was like a bootleg, like classic.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, but you know what I'm saying, in
Nia.
terms of its reach. Like everybody saw that video.
Yes, Nia, I saw the documentary.
I didn't watch it, Nia, because honestly, it didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know.
I have a different take than most people I've heard about the documentary, but
Right.
what you were saying.
I didn't watch. Yeah, but nothing against the documentary. I didn't watch it, but my whole thing with R. Kelly is, he's getting his just desserts at this point. I guess 2 videos are about to come out again, so somebody really wanted to do this guy in at this point. Not that makes him a sympathetic figure, but from what I understand, these tapes are also from the 90s, early 2000s, so these are not new.
Yeah, I wonder
So
what
somebody
the
was sitting on this. And,
exactly, right? There's somebody sitting on it, and how did he get off the
Dream
first
Hampton
time?
created a cultural moment, right? This is one of those.
She did.
This is one of those media. We're in the moment where you can shift culture through like a film or for a tweet. Like it's really fast. Look at AOC in politics as an example.
Yeah, I don't know if they can hear you or not. But no,
You can
Dream.
repeat it.
But no, I think the thing about surviving R. Kelly, even though I didn't see it, I don't think it's a coincidence that it came on the heels of Me Too. So people's senses are more heightened about this stuff now. But my question about R. Kelly to anybody out there is, if he was still making hits and making millions of dollars for Sony RCA,
Corporate. Go it. Get it. Go
do you think he skates on this? Do you think he would be getting caught up? Because I think if he was still generating the kind of money, if he was still commercially viable, he hasn't had a hit in like 8 or 10 years.
But isn't that why it lasted as long as it did? Because of the back catalog, how much money he continues to make on the residuals for a lot of people. It's like no one's blaming the music industry.
Right, it's all on this one man.
It's like, or even individuals. Even Dream took some on her shoulders. I saw, we should have known, we should have done something. This is my contribution. I'm like, check for everyone accountability. What about accountability in these fucking corporations again? Like, yo, like really? Like,
oh yeah, they still own his catalog. They released him now. They released him from the deal, but he doesn't own his publishing or his back record deal. So Sony RCA, if they really were about, consciousness and being woke, they would let him have his catalog. But we all know that's not going to happen because that's where the real money is. But that's my question to people is, if R. Kelly was still making hits and he was still commercially viable, would this just all go away? Because it did last time. I mean, he paid people off, and, we kept stepping in the name of love. I was one of them. Guilty as charged. I bought Chocolate Factory. I bought TP2.com. I love those albums.
Is one of my favorite
Feeling
songs.
on you.
Can't even
The
front.
video with Lil Kim?
The
God
whole song.
damn. Did you ever see the BET Uncut version?
That TP3 album, is it my turn?
Go ahead, yeah,
it's
jump
on you.
in.
It's your turn, man. What do you think about the whole R. Kelly?
No, I was just gonna say that. What did you guys say last? I was looking up something. You were just talking about what?
Oh, just if he was still making hits and still commercially viable, like, would he get passed on this? Like, obviously, right now, I mean, he's about to go to jail, I think.
He's not going to go to jail, man.
I haven't read enough about it.
I don't think, and if they do, it'll be something small, and he'll get like a slap on the wrist.
Surrender his passport shit, that's heavy.
Right, you can't leave. Russell Simmons left after he got Me Too.
That sounds like Fed shit, right?
Maybe.
When you're talking passport, that's Fed shit, right?
I mean, because remember they tried to charge him, that woman who tried to, I think it was a DA down there or something, tried to get him on some interstate trafficking shit for those sex slaves, allegedly. the alleged sex slaves. We got to say that, just to be, we don't want to be that kind of a show.
See, now you got to watch the documentary, man. Like again, I don't think that my thing is okay. R. Kelly is you put a P.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Was it traumatizing to watch?
It was disturbing to watch.
Yeah.
You use the word piece of shit. I'll say R. Kelly just has some problems. Some serious problems. Yeah. Some serious psychological problems. He's a sexual deviant, obviously. He's got some he's a pedophile. He likes young girls.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, is that a deviance or is that like the norm these days? Because there's a lot of...
Glad you said that, because I was going to segue into how hypocritical are we?
Unrecognized sexual preference.
Right, exactly. How hypocritical are we? Like, okay, let me propose it like this. How many people watch pornography in American society?
They say it breaks the internet.
It's a $1 billion industry.
The internet.
What do you think those girls in those videos have probably gone through in their lives? What do you think those images, though? Have you watched modern day pornography? It's basically rape. It's like the most vile, disgusting kind of stuff that you see. I'm telling you, that's what people like to watch, right?
You're painting in broad strokes, man.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You said people like to watch. All pornography is rape. I think
I didn't say.
I'm just telling you. I think
okay,
if
I said that, I apologize. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say pornography is a $1 billion industry.
Oh, it's definitely.
Which means a lot of people watch it. But if you look at the background of a lot of these, the actors and the actresses, and you look at the ways that it's filmed and the kinds of things that people enjoy about it, it's not your old school pornography where it's a story and people are just having sex on camera. There's a lot of sexual deviance. Okay, and we live in a culture of sexual deviance and a culture of sexual predators. Did you guys see The Spotlight? That movie that came out about the Boston Globe when they broke the story on pedophilia in the Catholic Church?
I didn't see that.
I haven't seen that.
Do you guys know about the Hollywood cults and all the molestation cases, the Corey Haim and Corey Feldman and all of them?
Those guys have blown that up.
And even the Me Too movement and this culture that seems to be very prevalent in our culture that we act like it's not going on. So if we're going to really have a conversation about R. Kelly,
it's gotta go beyond.
It has to go beyond the person.
I agree with
and
that.
Everybody wants to make him out to be the bad guy when this is a societal problem. We need to really address it for real. R. Kelly, he needs to get dealt with.
Right.
And have the law deal with him, but he's above the law.
I see what you mean. Like they're taking a large issue, trying to individualize it and dismiss it with criminalization.
Right, exactly. With R. Kelly, he deserves to get all the punishment that he has coming his way.
He established that, right?
And it's the same with Bill Cosby, right? How many rich, powerful Hollywood men were doing where do you think he probably learned how to do that? I'm not giving him no pass or nothing.
Right.
He's in jail, he's suffering, he's doing his time. Probably deserves more time than he got. But if we're gonna have an honest conversation about this, we have to be objective and not just nitpicking and individualizing it.
Superficial too.
Yeah, and if you watched it, did you watch the documentary, Jed?
No.
Okay, did you see it? You guys haven't seen it?
I didn't see it.
Okay, aside from that, the 14-year-old girl from the original tape, all of those girls, their parents walked them into. I was very upset about that part of the video that nobody seems to be talking about.
This last podcast.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. But the parents, man, like I'm a parent. You're a parent, Jeb. You're a parent.
No.
Okay. I'm not taking my daughter to an R. Kelly concert and letting him call her on stage and inviting her backstage, and I'm sitting there with my wife. Like what's going on with our culture? So as men, we need to check men about you know what I mean? Let's have an honest conversation. That's all I'm saying. R. Kelly's gonna get what he has coming to him, but as a society, we need to have an honest conversation about this.
You said it all, man.
And R. Kelly's case is very relatable to Robert Kraft. Because if you talk about this human trafficking and these sex rings, these prostitute rings, where do all these girls come from? Where are they? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something real going on, and we're acting like it's not happening. We're just trying to individualize it. So that's my take. It's a much bigger problem. If we're gonna call it out, then let's be for real about it, and let's hold everybody accountable. Harvey Weinstein raped 100 and something women, and he's chilling in I don't know where he's chilling.
Yeah, well, he might be getting his too. I think he's got a lot ahead of him, so we'll see what happens with that.
Bail.
But
and,
that's true.
I realize we don't have to do rants at the end because You already did.
He's done enough for a few
You already
of us
got-
already.
you already
My
got-
man's got passion, which is cool.
You already got your
Look at you,
couple.
look
at you.
You already
You
got your few minutes in a rant.
I like it. He out here
My
throwing
bad. What's that? Is that
haymakers.
a shot, man? At least seem like you dissing me, man. Like
No, not a diss. It's just you're good at the rants.
Right, I think
When
he's
I was
giving you
listening,
props.
did we interrupt? No, we just let you go.
We giving you space,
And
man.
then like 5 minutes later, we're like,
What
what's
up, Takia? It's the homegirl Takia there. What up, Takia?
5 minutes later. Oh, she's
Oh, she's on something else.
Does she want to?
I don't think it's with us. I think it was something else. But yeah, that's a homegirl. I was supposed to remind her that we were doing this. But I
Is that
forgot.
right? There's
Hit her up.
200 people
Hit
in
her
the
up right
chat.
now on text because then she can join. If she's live and we're live, we can split screen.
Oh,
When
yeah.
we do guests,
I got my
if you want.
phone over there.
All right, I mean, whatever.
Can
Yeah,
we
yeah.
segue into politics?
I just want to talk about culture, but all right.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
What
okay.
else did you
Let's
want?
do that.
What else did you want to? Did you have on the? Do we have on the agenda?
This is live, folks. We working.
It's live.
Work
What do you
with
guys think about what we've been talking
I
about?
want to talk about like music, the roots, the anniversary and stuff like that.
it. Okay. We'll do
That's
it.
significant. And then Mike, you had a whole bunch of stuff you posted on social
The
media.
Roots are
this
doing
morning
like an anniversary.
that, like just current stuff.
No, today's the 20-year anniversary of the classic album Things Fall Apart.
Damn, it's
So-
been 20 years.
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to focus too much on one album. Did everybody hear the album? That's
No,
the thing.
I just wanted to acknowledge it. That's all.
Right, and we talked about how dope 1998 was too, because that was like I put on my Facebook earlier. People can check it out if you go to the top of my Facebook. It's the 20-year anniversary tomorrow for "Back That Ass Up" by Juvenile,
Oh my
which
god!
is off a classic album, 400 Degrees.
The greatest party song ever made.
Oh man, I put that on my comment, man. I went down. You know, I actually used to go to the Essence Festival in New Orleans. Now this is years after "Back That Ass Up" came out, but I got a whole different appreciation being on Canal Street, being in the clubs at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Snap. Yeah.
I was out there on my West Coast shit, but I was like, oh, whoa, I'm about to move into this whole world. But yeah, 1998 was a great year for hip hop. You had DMX's first album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out that year,
Wow.
and then Hard Knock Life 2 from Jay-Z. That was the album that really put him on the map.
that was
That made him-
with the Annie,
Right.
Hard Knock
He
Life.
got the Grammy for Annie. I forgot the Pusha T
He did?
lyric off the last album, but yeah, they gave him the Grammy for Annie.
For the song though, right?
Right. No, he didn't get it for the
Is
album.
that the only Grammy he's ever got?
No, he's got a bunch since then, I think.
Okay.
He's got a bunch. You know?
His biggest, the one that he should have won for was 444. Man.
Ooh, that was a tough year though. Wasn't he competing with Kendrick and
I
shit?
don't care. That 444 was better than Damn.
Oh, okay. That's some
That's
controversy.
easy.
Bro, you hear this,
That's
man?
easy.
What?
You hear this, man? I mean, I actually like the 444.
Let's not give.
album.
Maybe we need to have a hip hop segment on its own because that conversation could turn into a whole like day of.
Yo, you want the top 40 hip hop albums in 1998?
1998.
That's
Okay,
the link. That's pretty
crazy.
high.
Oh,
Just
Equipment
look at
Light
it.
came out that year too. From
Isn't
Outkast,
that-
we was just listening to
Isn't that also the
Revisiting
same
the
year that
Eclipse.
like the whole Aquarian? What do they call it?
Soulquarians.
Soulquarians.
I
like
think
that
he did
was-
put out
was that
Like
98?
Water for Chocolate
Like,
that year.
and like D'Angelo,
Goddamn.
self-titled,
Oh,
yeah, Voodoo, the Voodoo
yeah.
joint,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Okay.
bro.
Ooh, look at this shit. Oh, that came out there. I remember
Black
going to the.
Star, that was.
We should
that
do a
was-
1998 party, man.
That would be
Wow,
dope.
that's your soundtrack right there. Big Pun. I didn't know he came out that year.
Wow.
All right, y'all. We wasn't even really about to veer into all of this, but now we on some
No,
other
we're
shit.
on culture. Quit.
Wait,
no,
what was the other one? What
Because
was that?
we
There was-
we did Things Fall Apart. It linked to that year.
Okay. I thought we was gonna focus on that album more.
To the
I mean,
albums
yeah,
one
we'll
more
go
time.
back. But this is just amazing.
Goody Mob.
That was a good album. Remember that?
Who's that peeping through my window?
That was the first album.
Oh,
This
okay.
one was the one. They Don't Dance No More. All they do is this. And then they had that Black Ice song too.
Okay.
Look at this. I
Coming
didn't know.
Eye by Outkast.
Right.
Education by Lauryn Hill.
And then is that right after
Ooh,
that?
Black
They had
Star.
the accident with
Most
when Homeboy
definitely
lost his
Talib
leg.
Kweli.
I think so.
Gangstar,
Cujo?
Moment of
Yeah.
Truth.
Gangstar. Shout out to
Big Pun, Capital
Shout out to my
Punishment.
dad. Rest in peace.
AC
My
Love.
dad's
Was that
my
shit?
dad's favorite artist was Guru.
Hieroglyphics.
Ooh, that was a good-
Amazing.
ooh.
Yeah,
Bay
Guru.
Area.
Gangstar. I grew up on
Goody
Guru.
Mob out here, still standing.
When I was a kid, man, my
Pete
dad used to
Rock,
go Guru
Soul
and Ice Cube.
Survivor.
Oh, my dad loved Ice Cube.
He
Man,
loved
Ice
Voices.
Cube.
DMX is dark and
Oh, that's the classic. Now,
Jurassic 5.
You guys want to know where?
Look at bro.
Yo.
Every one of these albums is classic.
You guys want to know where I was when It's Dark and Hell is Hot came out?
Where were
I
you?
was in Kenya. I
Damn.
lived in Kenya.
That album
and
made
when I
it
tell
over
you,
here. Wow, that came out that year. The
when I
Coup?
tell you,
Still this album?
I don't even know who that is. I feel embarrassed.
My bad. Let's get into that DMX shit. Tell us where you were when that came
When
out.
I was in
Heavy
Nairobi,
Mental.
I was a
I never heard that
freshman.
whole
Oh yeah, that was the joint. Heavy Mental.
I never heard the whole thing.
Oh, Heavy Mental, Wu Tang. I mean, Killer Priest.
Wow.
That
But
came out that year.
wow.
Okay.
When I tell you,
Beastie Boys
DMX
on
changed the
That was my
DMX.
shit.
Volume 2, Hard Knock Life,
I played
Jay-Z.
that album
Like
whole
people,
summer,
when
bro.
we look at this, when we look at it from right now, it looks like DMX is a nobody, like because of what his trials and tribulations.
Right.
But when it's Dark and Hell is Hot came out, when they were all at Def Jam, Jay-Z was not
shit.
on Jay-Z was under DMX.
Oh, you can make that case. Or they was neck and neck.
Well,
The Tribe
now
Called
in the
Quest is
streets
active.
maybe, but as far as pop culture, DMX was like
that shit was a tidal wave.
his album was like what
Rest
The
in peace,
Chronic
Guru,
and
that's
what Illmatic was.
It had that
and
impact.
It had that impact.
Remember, it shifted the shit.
It's
Shit
dark-
went to
yeah.
shiny suits, and it was, throw your rollies in the air and all that.
When I tell
DMX
you,
came in and he was like, fuck all that.
DMX changed the game.
Tribe
man.
Called Quest is in the same year as DMX.
That wasn't my favorite
A
album.
lot of people said that's when they fell off. I love the first single,
Yeah.
Find a Way. That was my shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a
Oh,
dope
yeah,
album,
hell
too.
yeah.
Very
Cool
slept on.
G-Rap.
G-Rap.
Yeah.
Remember, people can't see what we're looking at, so you gotta tell
That's
people.
true.
Sons of Man. That's a
The
Wu-Tang
last shall
spinoff.
be
Yeah.
first. The spinoff with
Bobby Digi.
Oh,
Risen with Bobby Digit.
Oh,
over
who
there.
had a big year that year.
Who knows the come out artist from
Easy.
I
Bobby
didn't like
Digi?
that album.
Holocaust.
Oh, you remember that?
M.O.P.
That was the
First
verse
Time for Life,
of
that
the
was my
year.
shit.
What did he say?
Ooh, this is
DJ Quick,
let's keep it
West
here for a little
Coast,
bit. So
West
when we
Coast.
talk about albums in 1998, if you want the quintessential album for your car, I don't care what kind of a sound system you have.
I don't care.
Rhythmalism by DJ Quick. Let me tell y'all something.
Only if you live
I rolled around with that album. Fellas, I
only
was
if you live on the
winning.
West Coast.
I was winning that year.
Full album in
God
the YouTube
damn.
comments. In the comments now, full album.
Oh my.
Only if you
We're gonna play
only
this.
if you live on the West Coast.
Nah, that's beyond regions.
Because we wasn't
It is
rocking
so
with
beautifully
Quick.
mixed.
We wasn't rocking with Quick.
Where was you? Oh, you was in Africa then.
Well, no, 92.
No, this is 98. This is 98.
Yeah,
Rhythmalism.
I was in Africa, but still, man, like my family's New York, East Coast.
That's true.
East Coast, New Yorkers just didn't get that shit.
That's
Even
true.
I didn't until I came here and got put up on West Coast. Like E40, DJ Quick, Too Short.
Rhythmalism is a must-have
Do we
for
wanna-
anybody out there. Any of you
We don't
youngins.
want to mess with the copyright though.
Nah, I don't think you gotta
But
bump it
anyway.
like that. But no, Hand to Hand is like my favorite joint on there. Do I Love Her with Sugar Free, that was my shit. Ooh, it's so much heat on there. So if you don't buy that, if you don't got that album, go get it.
I'm gonna have to get it.
Go get that. Cop
I am.
that. YouTube it. Take my word for
Dog Pound.
it. Nah, that came out in 96. Ooh, that album
That was
good
a
too.
joint. Yeah, is that the
Fat
one
Joe,
with,
Don Cartagena.
Yeah, Cartagena is his best joint, yo.
Yeah, I think so too.
Me too,
Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of people
yeah.
like it's more. That was a dope album.
that was a dope album.
Devin the
The
Dude.
1998 party has to go all night.
Jesus. It's all,
I know,
look
right?
at
It
how,
has to
you know
go all
what I
night.
love about it?
I don't
Because
know
it's
the
all
lights might
regions
not-
too.
Might not be that one.
Behind the Beat, Black Eyed Peas. This is before.
That's before they went pop.
before
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
They was on their hip hop shit then.
So
Black
what's
Eyed
it-
Peas was
Behind
dope.
the
What's her name joined
This is
in
when I
later?
saw him
No,
play.
she wasn't on that. That was
I saw him
Twins and
play
Jams
at
album.
McAllister College in St. Paul. That's when I saw him play at this time.
Pre-Fergie or post-Fergie?
This is like 98.
Okay, so that's
This
pre-Fergie.
album. Oh, come on.
I didn't
Come
like it.
on.
Cannabis, Can I Bust?
That was a
You know what? That's
great
one of the
album.
most.
Second round knockout, only second round knockout.
Yeah,
That
this is
album
one of the
was
most
hard.
disappointing debut albums of all time. There was so much hype around cannabis.
What was the hot
Did y'all
cannabis
see?
album?
Huh?
What was the hot cannabis
I
album?
don't
He's
think
never
it's
had a
that
hot album.
Yeah.
He just had he was just known for being a dope
Were you talking about
lyricist.
that Metal Jaws or something like that?
I don't fuck with that.
Nah, he-
that backpack shit.
Let's go,
Yo,
Ice Cube.
Nah, Ice Cube fell off.
Not
Yeah,
that album. That
War
album
and
was
Peace,
horrible.
His best work had already been done by
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Ooh.
Come on, D.
Although Laugh
He
Now,
dropped two-
Try Later is
Did
my
he drop
shit.
2 albums in
He was
one
the first
year?
one.
Yup.
Let me say this,
And
y'all.
here's another. When I was in Africa, when this came out, my friend told me, "Yo, there's a new DMX album out," and I was like, "No, it's not. It's Dark and Hell is Hot just came out," and I got into an argument, and he brought it over, just cause I love my.
That's before the days of mixtapes and how this shit is now, where everybody
X was
drops an
that.
album every 6 minutes.
X was
Like back then, that was
Dude,
unheard
man.
of in the industry to drop 2 #1 albums in the same year. Now he did sound
Nah,
rushed.
intro. It's the intro. This is the song that comes on after that.
Tell me the name of it.
It sounded rushed, to be honest. And from what I hear, it
Just
just
put
came out now.
it's flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Just and
What's the lyrics?
just cause I.
Love my niggas.
Yeah, there it is.
I shed blood for my niggas.
Let a nigga know where my nigga. All I want to hear
It's
right
right
here, my
Man,
Yo, My
That shit
man,
was
yo,
dope.
X was that dude, yo. X was that dude.
He brought the streets back. That was the thing. The streets were,
Now,
no free.
now let me tell you some stories. I found this out later. X is from Yonkers, which is right next to Mount Vernon in New Rochelle, where my father's from.
Okay.
I was hanging out with my dad and his friend one day, and his friend was like, telling me stories about DMX. DMX is, when you talk, I'm not talking about like goon hood. DMX used to live in like this old abandoned house. He used to like the dealers used to throw him like crack, so he'd rap for them. This dude was a real
grimy, huh?
grimy, yeah, man, like all that stuff he talks about, that's really him. You know what I mean? But
Stick up kid and all that shit.
yeah, he's as grimy as they come, yo.
It was some heat 98. I didn't know that. Slipping is like my favorite song of his of all
Oh,
time.
that was a super classic. The Pillage.
Underrated, yeah. Yeah, I used to, yeah. I don't know why it just didn't get the promotion. So. Busta Rhymes, ELE,
This is
Extinction
all
Level
98?
event. That's crazy.
Wow.
I didn't know it was that heated. I just knew it was
98
top.
might be bigger than 95.
96
What
was
made
the
you think
biggest
about?
year.
What made you think about '98, Mike?
The Juvenile link that I put up.
But
about,
no, like, had you heard this? Have you looked at this site before? This is insane.
I didn't. No, not this whole list. I would have to go back in because I got like damn near. I bet you I got 2/3 of these albums on CD, not digital. But they're all in. Ooh, I got that too. 8 Ball Lost. That was the double album. There's the
There it
classic.
is, 400
Juvenile 400 Degrees. I still play that at least
Hell
2 or 3
yeah.
times a year.
This is Master P's label, right?
No,
No,
that's Birdman.
It's still Cash Money.
Yep.
So it's kind of the southern look of that, because it looks like that No Limit cover. I didn't realize Cash Money was doing that.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
using
yeah,
pen
yeah,
and
yeah.
pixel graphics.
So
Yeah.
but with the bling right here, was Birdman doing that before Cash Money?
Nah.
So he
no,
took that
no
off,
limit
yeah.
got
I
that
mean, they
high.
all came out together. No Limit he was an ice cream man, and they were
No,
like.
in terms of look of the cover, man, I'm talking
That's what
about.
he's talking about.
Oh.
The aesthetics.
The
I don't
aesthetics,
know.
that's the
No,
Cash
they
Money
bit that off of No Limit. That was No
I mean,
Limit
No
shit.
Limit.
Because that was the same company doing that. Pen and pixel graphics. I remember that because I bought all those No Limit albums. Ooh, this is an underrated one too.
Yeah.
Doc's the Name by Redman.
That
was a dope
The
album,
ones that
man.
came before that, man. There
How
was a
fun would
dark
it be to
guy.
play a Mario game as Redman, which is basically what he was flipping right there on the
I
cover?
wonder how you
He
got that
should
copyright,
be. He should
though.
be what, like a hidden character on Mario Smash Bros.
Where you could like type in and then he
Like,
God,
if you
oh,
was- if
this
you-
was my ish right here.
Oh, you
I didn't
some?
like this
I like
album.
half of it.
Yeah, I didn't like this album.
Tikal
The one
2000.
with Mary
Nah,
J.
But the
that's
only
it.
song I liked on there was Torture.
Oh, that was dope. I
But
like that one.
that was
So are these the
honorable mentions.
okay.
Raz Cash, yup. Flip Mo was dope. That's Effects. Helter Skelter,
You guys
yup.
like Nicotina?
Onyx.
Haven't heard enough.
They didn't feature NORE.
That surprised me because that
Wow.
was a big album.
That was a big
Nori?
I
album.
mean, that was
They
a
didn't
Neptune.
feature the Locks.
Nah,
they
that
didn't
was a whack
feature-
album.
I like the second one better.
Yeah,
Money
the first
Power
one was a
Sex.
Puffy
That
album.
Bad
They
Boy
dissed
album.
it. They was like, we got away from the shiny suits. That was the Money Power Respect album. That was, it was like, and then there's this dude.
Yeah, you must have killed that audio.
And then there's this dude.
It's in the way background.
Snoop motherfucking Dogg.
Yeah, but 98, he got.
Calvin Brodus.
So that was his introduction to No Limit. They list that as one of the honorable mention albums. I like about half of that album.
Top Dog?
No, the game is Be Sold Not Told.
Oh, right. That
Remember,
was
he
horrible.
totally got on that No Limit shit. But
What was his single off that again?
Still a G thing. I actually like
no,
that.
that's
one.
the Chronic.
No, it was called Still a G thing. Top dollar with my gold fleet collar.
Oh,
Dip
right.
it in my collar.
Dip it
Yeah.
in my blue.
That was the only West Coast type of record on there. Yeah, that shit was dope. That shit was
That was
dope.
alright.
Okay, you was just alright on it. But the rest of the album was like whatever. But
Well,
no, by
because
the
the
time you
rest of
came
it,
back
I
on the
think it's
next
because the
one,
rest of it was so bad that I was just like,
if you was in the No Limit records, you would have liked it. I kind of liked a lot of,
No
at least
Limit
half of it.
had the wackest lineup for
You a fool. Mystical
Yo,
was shit. You didn't
yeah,
fuck with Mystical?
that's the Mystical and
Fiend was dope.
ah,
You didn't like C Murder's first album, that Life or Death?
no.
I still play that shit.
Mystical's the only dude that had like a unique, like, okay, I call him like the
They had
hip hop
spirits.
James Brown, but they had Silk the Shocker that made them lose points.
Ooh.
Like if they were like at 80, by bringing Silk, it automatically drops you to 40-30%. Yo, Silk the
Man,
Shocker.
let
No
me tell you
disrespect,
something,
Silk,
man.
if you watching this.
Man, put some respect on that man's name.
No disrespect,
Put some respect
no
on his name.
disrespect, but Silk the Shocker has got to be the worst rapper of all time, yo. If
With
they
all
had
these
a list,
motherfuckers, come on, Blueface is out. That's like his kid right now.
I take Blue.
Playboy Cardi is like his kid.
Yo,
He's
Playboy
like his
Cardi's
son.
alright.
These motherfuckers
For-
are not
for the-
rapping
for
on
the
beat,
young dude,
man.
For the young dudes, Playboy
Come
Cardi's
on.
alright, but I'll take Blueface over Silk the Shocker.
Come on, nah.
I take Bow Wow over Silk the Shocker, yo.
Well,
Bow Wow low key is a legend.
I take Vanilla
You
Ice
wanna keep
over
it real.
Soap the
I
Shocker.
didn't. I don't know about that. You going over.
Ellie, you're gonna get beat
Now
up.
you
I
getting
don't
crazy.
care. I
With
don't
your
care.
commentary.
What are y'all talking about? Silk
The
the
Shocker
was
album and the Charge You to
corny.
the Game album. Those are dope
Wow,
albums.
bro.
He was actually he had
My
a
name
different
is Silk.
style when he first came
My
out.
name
The
is Silk.
first
I can't rap, so what? I'm on the track.
Dude, I'm just
My
saying.
brother owns a label.
I'm just saying you should probably
He
have
went
your
platinum. He went platinum twice.
like a hot
care.
tip. Yo,
No, he didn't.
a
He
hot-
did. He
No,
sold
he
a million
didn't.
copies.
No,
Charge
he
to the Game,
didn't. I
Made
bet
Man.
you. I bet you.
Yo,
he didn't
I'm just
go
saying
for
a
it.
hot take is hot with no evidence, but it doesn't stand up.
What do you mean?
Like it won't stand the
You
test
need
of
that
time.
scrutiny. It needs to stand up to scrutiny.
You gotta
Silk
do,
the Shocker.
you
I
gotta
ain't
do
gonna.
your Googles, man. So when you say shit, then people can't tear it down ever.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm
They
not.
won't
I'm
do
not
it.
disputing that
They
he
won't
sold
trust your
a million records.
He did.
But what I'm
Facts.
saying about him being whack, I don't know nobody. You're the only person I've ever met that likes Silk the Shocker. You like Silk the Shocker?
Probably didn't listen to him enough.
No, I
Oh,
mean
you
like
listened to him?
the contribution to the culture and everything. Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
Now you going? Okay,
like
what
this-
you trying
I'm
to
just
do?
messing with him because
What
I
you
know he
trying to
don't
do?
bump. I know he doesn't bump Silk
What
the
you
Shocker.
trying to do? Nobody
I
does
know
now.
Anybody,
But in
nobody
98, that
ever
shit was
could
hot.
have- Exactly, because he was horrible, yo.
That shit was hot in '98. I'm telling you, man. He had some shit. So, what we segueing into now? You just playing something.
This
Just
was
what you feeling.
why was the Panther album nominated for best?
Best what?
Was it best album? Or
Tell
yeah,
people what we're
best
talking
album,
about.
right?
'Cause I don't know if they can see this.
Black Panther. It was nominated, I think, for best album, but it's
Oh wait, Aaron drops a couple.
What you sharing, Aaron? What up, Sharon? That's Sharon. Aaron Foley.
Aaron, Sharon.
That's the Long Beach homegirl right
Aaron
there. What up?
Sharon's
What up,
sister.
Aaron?
What did you read?
There was some shit. What album did she drop? She's a hip hop head.
Hey,
Me and-
Aaron, if you're on iPad or iPhone, you can live screen and explain these clips if you want to, or call in too. So we'd rather you narrate why. Oh,
yeah, that was on the list. That was on the list.
Aaron, you got to get on the phone and talk about why Black Star. That's
Wow.
amazing.
It was-
Oh, Black
Yeah,
Star
what
was
else you
huge.
got?
That was like the reemergence of
What else you
conscious
putting
rap,
up?
yo.
Let's see what we got
Black-
here.
Oh
Black
yeah,
Star.
yeah, classic man.
That was
That's
Raucous
right.
Records, right?
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
sure
they
is.
brought back like conscious rap, yo. Shout out to Raucous Records. What happened to Raucous? What they turned into? They changed their name, right?
They didn't sell no records.
Nah, they sold a lot of
They
people.
sell
Who was
records,
on, we
homie.
talked about this on the text not too long ago, right? They had.
That was the
they
first
had-
time people heard Eminem.
They had
was on
Talib, they
Raucous.
had Most, they had High Def, they had Pharaoh Monts. Dun, 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 dun.
I used to like Shabib
Get the
Sadim. I think that was his name.
Simon Says, get the
Oh,
yeah,
rays
yeah,
in the
yeah.
sky.
What up, Josh? That's talk about Long Beach. Tap in, Josh. Bamboo. He came out in '98. I didn't know that.
Yo, look how hard Spotify's embeds are just on the link. That's so dope.
Yeah, it is. It gives you the whole logo and everything. And you can get
So you
snippets.
put the whole album. Let me try to find that. What was the Quick album you liked, Mike?
You already put it up there.
But
The
not
Rhythmalism.
as the Spotify.
Oh, okay. Rhythmalism. How do you spell
If you
that?
guys want to see an album that captures like modern day pop hip hop, check out the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
It's good.
Into the Spider-Verse.
If you like the new
think
stuff,
I heard about
and I
it.
found myself liking it, I have to, I gotta sub, man. I gotta be, and give the new generation a chance and not be too critical of it.
I gave him a chance.
And it was alright, like the Sway Lees and the Juice Worlds and all that. Like, it's generational.
I tried to listen.
I
to
used
some
to
of
be
the
really
stuff.
biased, man, but I had to like take a step back and just like accept it for what it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
J. Cole put me onto that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, don't be mad at the new kids. It's their shot, and you can be critical of it, but try to give it a chance and take it for what it is, and rather than hold them to the standards that we grew up under with hip hop and the principles and the culture aspect.
Right.
They got their own thing, and as long as it's not toxic,
I hear you. I mean, I've given a lot of them a shot, man. I'm never one to just,
I'm not
Shun
I'm not
people.
camera ready either, Aaron. I don't have
Right.
no social media.
Yeah, this ain't
Yeah,
like
look
that.
how terrible Lenata's doing.
I just forget that I'm on here. I'm with my friends.
He's out here and he's like, "Hey, everyone sucks" or whatever. Like,
Whatever, man. See, that's why I don't see.
See, you see now?
Nah,
you see
man, nah,
I'm just
nah.
kidding, man.
I'm not.
Shout out to homeboy Joshua Jimenez. Hey, Josh, if you got a SoundCloud or something, man, I know you do music. Feel free to put it up.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Absolutely. Put your link up. We want to see some stuff. We
All
try
right,
to
just
eat together.
all right. To check in, y'all.
All right.
Here's some other things we could do. Our hot takes, quick fire, 2 to 3 sentences on trending topics of the day, or we can do long form with no time limit. We should probably do quick fire. Beef and beats, your favorite beefs and favorite beats of all time, top 5 or of this week, and Elle, you would love this one. For life, quick tips for survival and thrival in life.
Okay.
I think we each probably have something. And then, we can space for audience live. So these are our live audience. So any takers on that, or we can go on another topic. We've been doing, just for the record, an hour and 15 minutes of current events.
It's just moving quick. It's moving fast.
I mean,
shout out to everybody who's staying with us.
I thought that was the magic of what we're doing, is like not having a guideline or a structure and just going in and doing what we do. And
No, I was just giving some
cool.
scenarios.
It's good to get
Just checking in.
Yeah, it's good to just.
There's always a map, but you can always go off map.
You can veer off if you want to. Throw something out
Just
there.
ideas. What do you want to do?
I got nothing right now.
I can do.
No,
I
I'm
can talk a
kidding.
little bit about health if anybody wants to. I work in holistic health, and I know people are always looking for ways to.
Why on a Black History Month podcast though?
Say what?
Why on a Black History Month podcast?
Because I think health is a very big problem amongst African Americans or Black folks, or just people in general. Capitalism and the commodification of food
There you go.
has affected the way we look at what we are and what we're supposed to consume as human beings. That's going to give us the best that our body needs. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and bottom line is, if you have a sick society, physically sick society, you can't really change anything. You know what I mean? Because it starts with health. So, that's just my philosophy in general.
how did you, you have books for people, videos, like if we want to put stuff up for people to know, like what would they get up with? I'm just Googling stuff, but you probably already have your favorites. Like what would they look up on? If someone's coming to you and they said, yo, I want to start tonight, I'm an amateur, I'm trying to get plugged in, what would you point them to?
I'd tell you to get rid of your microwave.
But I mean, like for ongoing resources, I'll put that.
I mean, there's so much information out there. If you go to Netflix, if you want to just get an understanding of what's good and what's bad and how what the body's supposed to get, you can go like on Netflix. There's food choices, any research by
Netflix,
Doug McDougall, or which is mainstream research, or Dr. Sabi.
A certain film you like?
Food Choices is a documentary.
Dr. Sabi, huh?
Dr.
That
Sabi
name
is where I go. That's my reference point, is Dr. Sabi's work. If you type that's Sebi, he's I would say in my life and the people that I know, he pioneered this paradigm of alkalinity and the difference between hybrid foods and foods that are natural from nature. And the idea of live foods. I know you guys see the topic on the flyer that says live foods. What that means?
That's a different event.
Okay, that's for the next
something
event.
That's not public.
Well, if you've never heard of, this would be a good way to look at something.
Give me an intro
maybe you guys
real
can
quick. Put us on training wheels. All of us on training wheels.
Okay.
Guide us.
Okay, so I know, contrary to popular belief, human beings are really herbivores.
So
Okay.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Just keep the audience up to speed. So we got Food Choices by this film, and then what's the other thing? CB. Right?
Cowspiracy is good if you want to understand the ecological effects of the production of meat and dairy and what it does to our environment. I don't know how many people know this, but the production of meat and dairy causes more pollution than train, cars, and planes combined, if you can believe that.
I thought it was cow farts that did that. What does that factor in?
Well, yeah, cows. Like that's
their
beef.
farts are like, okay.
No, I mean, because if you think about all of the chemicals and how much water it takes to produce, to raise the cattle, and then all of the chemicals that they put in the animals to kind of buff them up so that you get the most
steroids.
Yeah, basically steroids.
They be putting these cows on that Jose Canseco. That's what it is.
Yeah, all of that
Putting on
goes
that Mark
back
McGuire.
in. They just. So,
that's that new shit. So instead of saying you're on that
real
Mark White,
shit.
you're on that Mark McGuire.
Yeah, man. I ate a hamburger the other day, y'all. It was on that Mark McGuire. Real talk. The bun was like this. I'm
even the bun had steroids.
I'm wilding right now. Go ahead.
The meat goes into the bun, and the bun gets fat.
Man, my shit was on brolic, man. I'm telling you.
We should take Elle to a place. Never mind. Go ahead.
And I lost my train of thought. Y'all always do this. Whenever.
By
the way, for the audience,
no, look, we're keeping it.
Whenever I start talking about health,
crazy.
Whenever I start talking about food and health, these two always do this. They always turn it into something.
Elle,
I know what.
For the record, look how many of the links links I'm following. People
Okay,
getting all
I-
your stuff.
Okay.
Edutainment here.
And
people.
look,
That's what it is.
For the record, people can watch it back and be the judge if we're interrupting you, and we probably are. We
Now, for the
apologize.
Dr. Sebi Cell Food, I would actually replace that with just his nutritional guide because that's the most beneficial. It would, you have to know
Ooh,
if you're on
Who's that for?
prescriptions or you might have specific health needs. I wouldn't recommend that you just jump into buying his products. I would.
Should I remove this website?
Peace,
I
Aaron.
mean, you can leave it up there so that people can look into it. But what I
Right.
was talking about more so as it relates to Dr. Sebi is his nutritional guide. So you can see what's healthy and what's not healthy, what is intentional for human consumption, and what is commoditized. You know what I mean? Because, for example, just to give you some context.
This is killer content, Al. I'm not interrupting you. I want to tell people, if y'all are feeling this and you think someone could benefit from this, share this video with them. Just hit share on the video. They get the video, they get the links and all of it, and the connection to come and learn from this guy directly. I'm in Long Beach and online too, and Mike's gonna have some events coming up too.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I want to say that y'all, if this is valuable to you, you can share it, and then you can come and actually experience it in Long Beach or online. So I just want
Right.
to say that. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, so his nutritional guide is a good way to follow what is meant for the regular diet. But just so we're not on this, I think maybe we can have a whole show about this.
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
I can do
Sounds
that.
like
Like
it.
a health
But
podcast.
let me just give the audience something to think to go to that you could get started on your own. It's really hard for people to just automatically change their eating habits, and there's there are a lot of things that block people from doing that.
McDonald's
The best thing
blocks
you
people.
can do is balance it out. Okay, we're taught to think of our body, our bodies as like these mechanisms that shut down, and like that it's not as strong as it is. When really it's quite the opposite. We're sentient beings.
Right.
So if you honor your body and what nature provided for you, you become like super women and supermen. You get back everything you lost. There's no reason that you can't rejuvenate your cells and get back to 100%. So what I propose for the audience is, number one, drink a liter of water every day. Make sure it's room temperature. If you can,
Ooh, not
add
ice cold,
some
huh?
mint, lemon, cucumber, and ginger to it. Have a bottle that you walk, and have a few extra water bottles that you walk with wherever you go, and just refill it when you're done. At least a liter a day of room temperature water, and raw live foods. Okay, we need live nutrients. So if you're gonna eat meat all weekend and eat out all weekend, the best you can do is during the week eat raw foods, you know what I mean, to balance it out, because nobody's going to give up completely that one way of lifestyle, but you need a balance. So for people who are struggling with weight or whatever health problems you might have, introducing live foods will help you reverse that. Every disease can be reversed. Okay, so if you honor your body and you will yourself, and as you go along, you'll learn how to make the kinds of things that taste good, and
Nah, you good.
you can continue to modify your diet and get to where you want to be. All right, I was 200 pounds.
Oh shit!
Tell them what
I
you weighing in now, man. Tell them, brag a little bit.
$1.
Yeah.
A buck.
I'm gonna say $1.50.
I'm a buck. I should be a $1.50.
Okay.
In the wintertime, I hibernate, so I lose a
Ooh.
little weight. So I'm like 140, 145.
If you think this guy
The
is-
man of all seasons.
If you think
dog.
this guy's light, don't fight this guy. I haven't even seen him in the park, but I've seen him in the park.
All right. But
Gets busy. He gets busy. Is that what you're saying?
I get busy. Man.
Okay.
I try to do my thing.
Hey,
But,
man.
I'm ready to hit.
I-
What
I'm
is
not-
it? 7 a.m. 6:30, 6.
5:36.
Signal Hill or Torrance
Signal
now?
Hill 7.
Yeah, we should do an El Dorado at 10 a.m.
That's cool. I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
10 a.m. on El Dorado.
Sleep in.
Talk about
Then
a
we
regimen.
run some laps.
Look
Talk about
at
a
study
regimen.
pH. Look up what pH balance means, alkalinity versus acidity, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. But that should help anyone get a head start on their health. It's all about balancing out. If you've been putting toxins in your body all your life, you need some way to reverse that.
What other? So alkalinity and acidity, and what else?
Live foods.
Well, you put the hashtag out.
No, well the hashtag is who's talking about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that means if there's knowledge is already out there. A
Right.
Google search means the whole internet, and we
Right.
just tell people here's the keywords. So we did the keywords for them.
Okay.
So then they can just click on the link and they can get everything. And
A lot
they
of
can,
good reference
they,
points
they,
in here,
they
y'all.
can be their own judge.
Right. You got your health
And you
pocket. You got your music pocket. You
Yeah,
covering all bases.
And once you start to immerse yourself in this, your body will feel different. You'll like how you feel. For some people, it might be very difficult. You might go through some withdrawal symptoms. And a lot of times that turns people away. They think that because their body has adverse reactions to getting healthy, that somehow it's not working. But really, that means that it's working. That means your body is cleansing itself of toxins. And that can be very, very uncomfortable. So, but it doesn't mean that it's not working. So if you want to live forever, get started.
If you want to live forever, there you go.
All right.
You know, I'm wondering if the Facebook algorithm, when you put more links, if they reduce your the visibility, because we only have 1 people watching now, and before, like, people like tune in quite a bit.
You sure it's not because of because I'm talking about health and telling people not to eat meat?
You scaring them away?
You scaring them away? No, I'm talking about the Illuminati. They ain't cutting us off, man.
Let's give them a bunch of gluttony now. Now we got to follow up with some
it's
gluttony.
after dinner. It's 6:40. It's Saturday night. People are probably starting to head out, but they'll get it on the rebound.
It's all good.
On the whatever.
Right.
But
okay.
Cool.
But no, that's good stuff,
But
man.
this is just something for people to think to start to think about. You know, a lot of what we think we know about
ever come through. Aaron,
health,
come through.
A lot of what we think we know about health is misinformation.
Co-host off camera.
So I think we should do like a whole show, you know, about protein. There's, you know, all the misinformation about the myths about protein. Eat a lot of fruit.
Oh, look. Aaron said be healthy, which is the track that we were just
same
playing on
wavelength.
the couch.
Right.
Aaron, that's crazy.
That dead presence.
We were
classic.
Ask Mike. We were just playing "Be Healthy," and right when you posted it, like that, we have our little couch speakers back here. So that means she can't hear it. So that's good. That means how's the audio, by the way, Aaron? Which I think you're the only one watching right now. Can you hear us okay? And can you hear the music that we're listening to? But sorry.
Didn't Stickman have a whole album, a workout album?
I want to say so.
Yeah.
RGB Fit Club, the street workout.
Yeah. There's a song on there. I saw them perform it live, and I could get swole like Tookie Williams. You know, I forget the name of that song. They did it when I went to see them in their comebacks concert downtown a couple of years ago.
Ooh, when was that? Oh, that wasn't even like the early 2000s or 90s, huh?
This one
my regiment, I think. Back on my regiment. Back on my regiment. Back on my workout. Back on my regiment. Back on my.
I don't go that deep into their catalog, but okay.
Swole like Tookie Williams.
I can hear y'all, but I can't. Good.
I worked out to that for like a month.
Got that chopped and screwed voice, huh?
Get on your regiment. Get on your regiment. Create a plan for yourself and get strong.
That's the thing, huh?
We need a strong society of people, of children, of strong-minded, critical thinkers in the world today, all right? And that's where it starts.
Well-rounded. What else is on the agenda, John? What else we got? I never even heard that song, but that sounds kind of dope. Okay, so well-rounded people right there, man. I like that. Those are things we got to hear. So, you know, food for thought. It's real stuff.
Now, what about the chat, Jeb? It says 206. What does that mean?
That's a number of views so far.
Okay. All right. So keep sharing, people. If you know,
what is it?
If you got a friend who you think might be interested, share with them.
Yeah, comment, share, like, join. Oh, by the way, join the session. I don't know which one. For event taping invites, right? Session group for join the session.
She said now she can hear
thing
the music.
for join the session group for live tapings and event invites for future stuff.
The one that's public.
Not every event, but
the one that's public. Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and link that one. Definitely, this is under the umbrella of Session, new venture we've been working on, and you're gonna see a lot of things under this umbrella. So far, we've just been doing it on the underground. Everybody who's listening. And we're looking to expand this hopefully pretty soon. But you're watching us rise, as we continue to build this thing brick by brick. So, Session is a name, if you live in Long Beach, get familiar with it. Get real familiar with it.
Shout out to Erin. I don't eat meat, no dairy.
Yeah, Erin.
That's what's up.
I met her in Occupy, man. She's always been on that route.
No, that's why I said, Erin, we're going to do a fourth session collab. We're hoping. We'll get you in the studio, and we got to do like a lot of stuff, so... That's why we got to send the invite out. But if you feel like it, come through. Probably after this little fire pit chilling. Otherwise, we can connect another time. But we love she said hashtag Aaron the fangirl. I think you're underselling yourself, Aaron, but I feel the sentiment. You are a supporter, like you support people, give energy, and we just love you so much. Like Aaron is Long Beach. That's how I feel. Hashtag Aaron is Long Beach. Like out here, she's and everything.
Is that
I
the
mean,
move?
you too, man.
Okay.
Like both of y'all really rep. Like are just so. I see you all just really giving love to Long Beach. So
it's only
I appreciate y'all.
You know, we move around in the streets, and you know that's where we all met. So
shout out to Long Beach.
Absolutely, it's always a Long Beach thing. Always.
And then Al's got the Long Beach connection. So you know, there's something special about the city by the sea.
Yeah, definitely. I think Aaron will enjoy my session when I hold mine, the live food session.
Oh yeah, tell her. Aaron, are you vegan? Tell her about that. There's a lot of vegans that follow us, man. Yeah, tell what you.
Can I speak to the vegan
It's your show, man.
the vegan thing? Okay, I don't like you personally. I don't use the word vegan because it's a trap. It's a way that people can judge you, and also it limits you to being free to do what you want. You know, I use the word plant-based, that I lead a plant-based lifestyle, but guess what? On Thanksgiving, I might have some mac and cheese.
Make that exception.
When I'm at Jeb's house, I might have a slice of pizza. But I don't keep cheese in my house. I don't buy that stuff.
I don't ever carry pizza. I don't believe in pizza.
But if I say that if I say that I'm a vegan, it allows people to put me in a box. And what people like to do is judge you and police you. And when you give them the opportunity to do that and they shame you for it, you feel like you failed. So if you've gone 6 months without eating meat or dairy, and then one day you're at a party or you're at a family event and you decide to have your little guilty pleasure, the police hops out of the bushes like, see, I knew you weren't a vegan. And then you feel, or even you yourself, when you cheat a little bit, it makes you feel like you haven't done anything good with your health, when in reality you are walking the walk. So I like the term lifestyle. You know, I lead a plant-based lifestyle, and also the food industry has hijacked that word.
Vegan. What does that mean?
What?
What she just said?
She said basically what I just said.
Not
She's
plant-based, but
shout out to Aaron.
A lot.
That's
those of us who are non-studied in these things.
Well, here's the thing: the term vegan has been hijacked by the food industry. Okay, it assumes that it just means plant-based and that you're eating healthy foods. But the truth is that they use that word to commodify foods that are not meat but are still bad for you. So if you go to like Veggie Grill, for example, that's no different from going to McDonald's. Okay. And you think because it's a vegan restaurant that you're getting like healthy food when really you're not getting healthy food. It should be plant-based is the term, because that says that you're eating live foods, and it really reflects
the term live food,
and it reflects your lifestyle as opposed to like some title that somebody can give you. You know, you're a vegan. Oh, you're this and that. Then people get to put you in a box. So I stay away from like the titles. I just have a lifestyle that I follow, and nobody can like judge me or put me in any kind of particular. I make my own box. All right,
man. Don't make a box, man.
Or I open my box and jump out and just run around.
Yeah, be a mind, man. Just like create your environment.
Thank you.
It's a good example.
That's right.
Oreos and Sour Patch
That's pretty much what it is.
I didn't. Okay, that actually helps me kind of like make the connection there in terms of these terms. You know, for those of us who are uninitiated, because. Yeah, that sounds like a whole different world.
It's a trap, and it scares people away, right? If you want to get healthy and you use the V word, it's like, I gotta be a vegan to be healthy. Nah, you don't.
Aaron, share with Al. You recently did a collab with in Pacific Playhouse. Did a collab with a community garden, right, or something? Can you put a link up so people can see on the podcast what you're up to? Anyway, some dope stuff. I can find it, but I'd rather have you put up what you want to put up. But
absolutely, feel free to plug anybody.
They did basically. Correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron. And I would love for you to call in a video. But I get it if you want to chill. I'd rather not put words in your mouth. But it was my impression of it was that it's like a community garden, and people can offer their homes or their apartments for a place to plant. I don't know, but that's what I got the sense of. Anyway, so if you got something on that, but. We haven't done that yet with the crib. That's why, I want you to come over And DJ in the garden because there's
DJ in the
edible,
garden.
there's edible stuff, and we can do the
The
vegan,
DJ
the
plant
vegan music, the plant-based music,
That's
whatever
right.
that is.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
You can play around with that
Long
title.
Beach
there. You
community
can come up with
table.
something real interesting off of that. But yeah, there's a little community here in Long Beach of people who follow things like that, do things like that. So I think that's all great. I think people should do that. What I wonder about these things is, how can you implement these from a systemic standpoint as opposed to just from an individual? Because it sounds pretty individualistic. But,
Man, this is just if people got together, man, and just stopped supporting these corporations and put their money into community gardens or just became a little more health conscious,
Right.
we could starve these companies. And
I hear you. But
Here it is.
let me jump in a little bit. We can't feed a whole community with a community garden. Like, do you understand?
oh, I
you
see.
get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
Like, we can't feed a whole city.
Aaron,
we,
we're watching your thing right now.
yeah, we can't feed North Long Beach off of community gardens. Like,
Is that
most of
hurt?
us don't even got a garden. So, yeah, I think these are nice ventures. I think they're, but I think in terms of being like a solving the whole problem, I think they're kind of utopian a little bit. So, but yeah, I applaud everybody who does these.
So as opposed to what?
What do you mean? As opposed to
You say they sound like utopian.
It's not utopian, Mike. They're feeding people for free. They're offering. They have yard space. And Aaron's doing this, man. It's fucking dope. Look,
I'm not
this is
saying
awesome.
that she's not doing it. What I'm saying is that you can't feed an entire city off of
No,
community
but you
gardens.
can feed your block. And what if everyone had it?
But yeah, that's the point. It's
Everybody
not you
doesn't
don't
have a garden.
but a
LA
lot of
can-
people do. So you don't need everybody to have a garden. You just need a certain amount of people to have it where everybody can have their little plot. And the more you grow and the more you produce, nobody's gonna produce the amount of food that just one person takes. Your little plot can probably produce enough for 5-6 people. And then the more people hear about it, the
Yeah,
more
Mike,
people
look.
want to get involved in it. It's just a garden.
They
I mean,
build a garden and they plan to serve the veggies to the public.
I'm not knocking none of that. That's great. We've had those types of ventures before, but what
What
I'm
would
talking
you like
about,
to see?
well, first off, we need to move with the food to feed everybody first. I mean,
Oh yeah.
nobody should starve. That's the first thing. We shouldn't have a
But we got
garden in our
survival.
backyard.
I think there are a lot
Survival
of
programs are a
misconceptions.
foundation of social movement. There's survival programs, and then there's challenge the state programs.
And I
you know?
think there's a lot of misconception out there also about eating healthy and doing and growing food. I think people, I mean, I'll be honest, man. In my experience, people, because of pathology and people have eaten a certain way their whole lifestyle. The truth is, a lot of people are not really ready and are able, to will themselves to really do it. You know what I mean? But it's there if people decided to do it and we're really and I think it's happening, man. I think slowly. But I
Detroit
think,
is full of
on
it.
a
I
very
think
small scale.
Detroit, we should go to
particularly
Detroit.
young people like millennials are really waking up to health. Everywhere I turn, I'm seeing like young people like getting health conscious and going vegetarian and not eating meat and it's a young people movement, man. And I work in a restaurant industry,
Okay.
man, and
I don't doubt what
trends
you're saying.
trends are down.
Yeah.
People are not eating out as young people, not only because
Well, a
of
lot
that.
of that's because of economics.
Yeah,
actually.
prices.
People don't have
Yeah.
expendable income like that.
But
We've
at the
seen-
same time, people are becoming very health conscious, man. People are like waking up and they're making it a priority for them. And I would say if you look at the expenses that you spend on a regular, like for your average person, a lot of people waste a lot of money, man. And eating healthy and being healthy is far from expensive. It's not hard to live healthy. You go to Farmer's Sprouts is cheap, Trader Joe's is cheap.
Trader Joe's is cheap
Yes, Trader Joe's is cheap
compared to what?
compared to anything. Depends on what
Trader
you're looking
Joe's
for.
is, man, I've been in there a few times. That's not my place I shop at.
But if you prioritize your health and make your health number one on your list as far as your money, you'd be surprised
Yeah.
at how much money you have left over. Like it's not like it's going to run your pockets empty, man.
I don't doubt it. I don't
It's
doubt
not.
it. On an individual basis, I'm just saying, I don't think it's anything that can solve the kind of problems that we're facing. When you talk about things like food insecurity, food deserts, to me, you're not going to be able to out-health your way out of that. When you talk about healthcare system, lack of access to universal healthcare.
Yeah, but the
that's why most people are dying.
but the reason people are getting sick and going to hospitals is because they have bad lifestyle. They lead unhealthy lifestyles.
But if this is the only thing available, what else can
Look
you
at
But it's not.
lead
Dude,
on
look
this
it's not
scale?
that.
Look at this info, man. This is amazing.
Simple
Aaron,
start out
congrats
6
to you
months
and the
ago,
whole
since
team.
that time.
Don't worry about the haters.
3,000
Keep
food today,
keep
24
feeding people.
The
It's
first week
amazing.
currently providing 250 to 3,000 pounds per week.
That's great. How many people are in the city? That's
600.
people.
So they went from what?
But that just shows that
24 people to 600 and 700
Mike,
people.
what I feel like you're saying, man, is like just like we were talking about individuals versus systems, institutions. I feel like you're critiquing cities. They're not sustainable, which is accurate.
Oh no, we
You know
should.
what I mean? Like,
no,
the
under a
city-
different
you mean-
system, we would plan things.
Like,
actually,
I'm
we
just
would
saying,
actually plan differently.
I'm just saying, look at like what Aaron just said. They're doing. You could take care of a community of 600 to 700 right now, which is what Cooperation Jackson is doing in Mississippi.
Right.
So that's
I guess
they
you
just
don't
they
have
just
to go
tailored a
through, are you
sustainable
saying
model.
that you gotta, like, as far as the city and the government is concerned, you can't do that? Or are you saying just if
I think we're
individuals?
talking about 2 or 3 different things.
All right, you go ahead, Mike. Head it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where we are.
You were just saying.
Well, you
that
were saying that
you
that's
wanted
not-
just
that's
the
un-
scale.
that's-
You wanted the scale.
Yeah, you were basically saying.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
it's
I'm thinking about
unlikely.
How to
I
do
mean,
it.
you look at food insecurity in this
How to
country.
grow. How to grow it to scale.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about these, I think these are ventures that are very nice for small amounts of people. I don't think you can feed an
I eat
entire
one meal a
city.
day, Mike.
Individual.
I know,
Individual.
but what I'm saying is,
I'm
what-
talking
all
about other people.
right. I'm saying.
I'm talking about
but-
the collective.
Right, but what I'm saying is if you can educate people on holistic health and change people's consciousness about food and about health, what I'm saying is not only does this work, but this is the way of the future. Because the institutions run the food industry.
Yeah,
And
right.
as long as
Brings
that's
it home.
and as long as that's the standard, people are going to continue to eat unhealthy and continue to get sick, and these hospitals are
because there's no option.
Exactly. But when people become, and I'm speaking from experience, man,
Right.
200 pounds, baby. I was Fat Burgers. They knew me by my first middle, last name. Let me tell y'all. First of all, let me tell
Is
y'all.
Fat Burger any
It
good?
is jamming.
Let me tell you what I
That
used to
shit's
get at
bomb.
Fat Burger. I used
With
to get,
cheese?
I used to get the burger,
Tell
with
us.
cheese,
Preach.
grilled onions,
Preach.
scrambled eggs,
And
right?
There's scrambled eggs.
This
I never even had that.
Is there
I'm a
bacon on
foodie.
it?
I never even
I
had
put the
scrambled
bacon
eggs on a
If
hamburger.
I put the bacon on it, I have to take the eggs off. I haven't eaten too much bacon throughout my life. I
Damn.
can't front. I haven't been too
Did
much.
you ever get a
on
hot
eggs.
link on it too?
Nah.
God damn! I didn't know you could.
I'm not
eggs on
even
a hamburger?
done yet.
I never had that.
I'm not
before.
even done yet.
Okay, let me know more about this burger because I don't think I had this.
And the thick fries. I was in and out. They also knew me on a first name
Oh, yeah,
basis.
I mean,
Yo, man, I'm
That's the
telling you,
joint
you're
right
talking to
there.
somebody who walked the walk and completely changed my life. It almost killed me. You know, like I was waking up in darkness, man. Like awake, not knowing what I'd take me like 30 seconds to recollect
you
that
were
I
like
was
blackout on food.
Yeah,
Little food.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Well,
bad.
This sounds like this deserves its own show.
That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. Like, but
Yeah.
ultimately, it starts with the ways that we think about food. We're taught to think about food, and so we're in survival mode as opposed to nourishing ourselves and our bodies in a healthy way in the ways that nature intended for us. But when you start to embrace that and you take the steps, you'll find that food, we're not supposed to consume food the ways that we've been taught to consume food. So when I say I only eat one meal a day, I'm not like forcing myself. It's because my body has grown accustomed to getting what it needs as opposed to what my, the stimuli is pulling me
Okay.
towards,
I got
right?
you.
So like if I drive by a restaurant and I smell something, if I'm not,
You don't get pulled in.
I don't get pulled in because my body is already trained and my body will reject that even if I try to anyways. I couldn't eat too much junk food without getting sick now because my body has grown accustomed to healthy food. So it starts with consciousness first, and even just the way we look at and think about food. You know what I mean? Because we think food, a lot of what we eat is not even food. I heard somebody call it, what's her name? Eva Longoria. I saw an interview.
What's she saying?
She called it, you know how you say mankind? What we eat is food kind. Processed food is not really food because it doesn't have any nutrients.
That's what I heard.
So when you eat, you ever eat a whole pizza and feel like you can eat another one?
I've done it.
I've done it too.
Did you eat that?
I've done it too.
I ate
yo,
the whole pizza.
Yo,
I've
the
done it
question,
too.
the question is though,
And I ate the
did you eat
wings.
the other one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell
Did you
yeah.
eat the
And
one
the
And
wings.
I could eat
You
another
kidding
one,
me?
and here's why. Because when you eat a whole pizza, you are not eating any nutrients. You're just getting something that it's dopamine it's like it tastes good in your mouth, but it does nothing for your body. So after you eat it, your body is still saying, yo man, I need to eat. Because that pizza or whatever processed food you're putting in your body doesn't have any nutrients. So your body is like, yo man, I still need to eat. Motherfucker, what's up? Can you feed me something that I can, it tastes good in our mouths, but when it goes down in our bodies is like,
They just forgot about it already, huh?
I'm
gonna kick your ass.
I'm about to put up the link from WebMD, which everyone goes to when you don't have health insurance, on medical marijuana and its medical uses. And so just check this out. This is very interesting. And the fact that they've
What's the tie-in here?
Well, they just legalized in the Farm Bill in December CBD as a medical thing. And though the Democrats and Republicans can't agree on anything, but they legalized hemp right before the new year quietly, and Mitch McConnell led it because climate change is killing the farming in Kentucky, and he's going to lose his seat if he can't get money to the working class whites.
Okay.
And so that's why everyone should invest in CBD. So holler at your boy.
Plug it on the low.
No, it's not on the low at all.
What is it?
You can go into in Land's End and get CBD tea right now. Actually, let me go. Let me go give you an example of it.
My mom
Not to
CBD
give
oil.
not to give anyone the product of like we're gonna make better stuff, and I'm gonna break down why this is not the real deal. But I'll let Elle talk and like.
It's new. I mean, we always knew what the medicinal properties were for cannabis, or the plant. You know, the cannabinoid plant. But I mean, scientists have always known this too, you know. But it's good that now. I mean, even if Mitch McConnell has his own agenda or whatever, it's good that
self-preservation.
My mom uses CBD oils for like her joint pains, and it really. I'm about to start using. I'm gonna look it up a little bit more, but I mean, we know what, you know, the hemp plant and the cannabis plant is good. You know, it's like garlic or ginger. You know, it's in the same category.
It's the base of a lot of things.
Yeah,
okay.
It's one of those super nutrients or super organisms from nature that were meant for us to
I wouldn't doubt it. You know,
use in multiple ways, whether it's healing, whether it's the hemp plant because it grows so quick. You know, instead of chopping down forestry for all the bullshit that we use wood and paper for, you can just grow hemp in mass. You know, they should have been doing that, but we know why that didn't happen.
Right.
So.
I'm guessing there's some financial interests, you know,
Of
somewhere.
Course. I think it has
There's
something
a lobbyist
to do with, like,
somewhere,
when
too.
printing came into effect, and I forget what the story is. There's a documentary on Netflix about, you know, hemp and why hemp was made illegal.
Okay.
But it was political. It's totally political.
Absolutely, as most of these things are. Yeah, none of this stuff just happens out of the blue. It's just people can imagine. There's always a history behind why things are the way they are and why they aren't the way they are in some cases. So, yeah, I know people have been talking about hemp for years and all of its medicinal uses and additional uses as well. So
Yeah, additional.
yeah, but there's more than that. You can wear this clothes and all that other kind of stuff. So.
Yo,
Yeah,
are we
it's
going
an
to talk
interesting
about
issue.
politics today, or are we saving that for the next
Who?
show?
No, I think we should definitely try to chime into some things, you know, as far as politics. So, you know, it just depends on, you know, where you want to go with this. But I know one thing that I wanted to talk about, and I kind of threw it out while we were talking about ideas for the show, is just to bring it back to Black history or whatnot. And this can go for anybody that's watching this as well. But what I want to bring up as a topic is if people see our flyer, you see that, you know, you have the Panther women who are featured prominently on the picture. So what I want to know from people, and then, you know, we'll all chime in
Black
here
Heroes, right?
as the as co-hosts. We'll talk about, you know, a Black woman from history or maybe a contemporary Black woman that inspired you or that, you know, really meant something to you on a real political type of level. So, you know, I would love to get some people's names and some feedback
Put some
out there.
links up.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the people who we're gonna maybe highlight today. So, what'd you say here? And what are you holding here? Tell them that real quick before we get into this.
Wrap up the CBD.
Yeah.
I can say something.
Yeah.
So this is just as an example of how mainstream this is. So this is CBD mint tea.
Did you see what Aaron said?
Buddha teas. You can recap it after this. But this is from Lazy Acres. The interesting thing about this is on the shelf prior to December 28th.
Ooh.
So if December 28th, it marks the day which hemp was legal, it's only legal for research purposes at this time. We'll put some links to the law, which means you cannot commercially sell CBD in the store. So how does this company have a product for tea in the equivalent of a Whole Foods? Money, sure. But the other thing has to do with this is not actually CBD grown from the hemp plant.
It's not.
It can't be. It would be illegal. It would be a felony on many levels.
So are you saying this is like false advertising?
It's not false advertising. This was made in a lab. It's bacteria grown.
Oh, so it's synthetic.
It's synthetic CBD.
Mm.
So just know you could get an infection from this, but because the stuff's not advertised, you know, it's like used as your own use, but it's bacteria. So you should look for stuff that just like organic was a whole movement and it became a label people would look for when they're buying.
Right.
Look for straight from or what do we call direct from hemp.
Okay, so if it doesn't say direct from hemp, then it's probably grown from bacteria.
I mean, there's no national regulation. This is what we're in the midst of. It's a wild west right now. But for people that don't know, CBD is from the cannabis sativa plant, but it's all there's no psychoactive to it, so it can treat and in some cases cure, according to research, arthritis,
MS.
seizures, MS. People always joke about cataracts, but there's a lot of deeper stuff on that. It can actually reduce anxiety. We'll actually put up links of academic vetted research on multiple standards. And I'm familiar with the IRB. If you Google me, you'll know why. You know
Tell them what IRB means.
It's the Institutional Review Board, which has to go through a university ethics and double check that this is a thorough certified article. By the way, I mean, any article you read, whatever, read multiple. If you read 100 articles and they have similar conclusions, it probably means it's true. Nothing's 100% true, but you can get close. So it's all about that quantity. Like, you read one article, it's not true. Read 10, read 20, read 30, and see how many of those seem to agree, and that seems to be a thing. And I'm saying, like, the jury's still out on this. But the early research is suggesting, like, and this is the most quick example. I'll just put one link up, because that's easier for the internet and for me. Sanjay Gupta in CNN, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. This guy was a ferocious anti-marijuana critic as a medical doctor. And he used the platform of CNN to basically tell you that marijuana was going to kill your kid. He did a special where he's like, let me actually listen to, because he started to see the medical research, Harvard Medical Journal, et cetera, et cetera. So as an academic who's also a medical doctor, he has to look at it. Otherwise, he's not a doctor anymore.
Right.
And he's like, all right, let me look. So that evidence piled up to the point that he made a special. So if you type in, and we'll put up the link, Sanjay Gupta marijuana, he goes and he follows cases of people who use it as medical benefits, saving kids' lives. And so then it was just like, and so after that, you can see everything follow. And that to me is the power of media, which is a whole nother show.
Right.
Like, but I think it's part of what we're doing right now.
Right.
Like, if we can get direct and create alternative sources of media where we don't have to go through channels, cool. But we were relying on a Facebook, a corporation, to give us access to the live stream or not. And we'll see how the numbers do, but we'll report definitely to the family if we see that they're siphoning us.
Okay.
And then I don't know what we have to do. I mean, this is the platform, but
Okay.
we have to get creative. It's just interesting. It's literally the Matrix. Because we're playing in their game, trying to hack it. I think we can do it, but you got to study the Matrix constantly because the algorithms are already tweaking, and they're smarter than us. It's robots. They're smarter than the people that built it.
The robots that create these algorithms.
Because it's running right now while Zuckerberg is like having dinner in San Francisco.
Wow.
So anyway, that's another thing.
Yeah,
but
that's deep.
Anyway,
right there,
So when
okay.
you say anxiety, the CBD made for hemp, are you talking about like oils? Like it would be like a rubbing oil? Or are you talking about would you need to?
Anything. CBD can be ingested in any way. It can be lotions. It can be topicals.
Right.
It can be smoked, which actually laws cover already in California because you can recreationally smoke cannabis sativa, the plant.
Right.
So it includes the THC and the medical. So if you do not want the psychoactive, but you want stuff for digestion, skin, cellular health, then you can smoke CBD directly. Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
But the smoking is covering it most. Edible, and this is the last thing I'll say.
You said smoking covers it has the most effect.
No, I'm saying it's covered legally.
Covered legally, okay.
It's recreational
Okay, cool.
to smoke right now.
All right.
So the last thing I'll say, and then we can change topics if we want, is the CBD is I think it's in trials, like people are figuring it out, but there's a lot of research that says there's the benefits. But the interesting thing is eating CBD, this is an interesting area of the law.
Right.
If people are nerds like me and interested in this, it's not covered by the FDA as an ingestible substance.
So making edibles.
It becomes more illegal when you eat it
Not regulated.
than when you smoke it.
Yeah.
And lotion, though.
What's that about?
And well, look at this here. And the hack is lotion. So I went to the cannabis merchants convention, the biggest one in the United States in Vegas, like a month ago, and the lotions was everything. Lotion.
That's what they're pushing is the lotions.
And I understood it before I walked in. I knew the legal, but then I was like, oh, that confirmed it.
Do you think maybe because
It's just
edible is not some if you the edible aspect of it is what maybe not marketable, like people.
No, it's just where the human ethics stuff comes in.
Okay.
When you ingest stuff, it just becomes weird.
Okay.
But when
Like
you
what it does to you.
well, just the concerns, medical establishment.
Okay.
But when it's an ointment, but the thing about CBD is it has almost the same effects. That's how amazing the plant is.
Okay.
So you can rub something on a joint, or you can ingest it. It has almost the same effect.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, that's my little. It's not a commercial because I'm not selling anything.
I was gonna say, man, you
It's
get a
not a
lot of
commercial.
details.
But I'm familiar with it because
They should pay you.
I'm in the space.
I know. I know.
I'm in the
just saying,
space.
just for that, the way you articulated that.
No,
right.
I'm in the space, but it's like
You.
there will be opportunities for people to experience this directly.
Okay.
But so hit the Facebook thing, and it's all Where if you Google any of us, you'll understand we're researchers, and that CBD is allowed through research, so you can connect the dots. Like,
Okay.
there it is.
That's the main thing. If you can research something and verify it, and it checks out,
Come through and have some tea.
tell them.
But I don't even think you can go buy this stuff. But have some actual CBD tea.
Tell them.
Made
Come
from
through.
him.
Yeah, that's
So I
incredible.
pay attention. See, I'm learning. This is I'm in class right now.
Hey,
And what you just said, I put that in my
this is
in
a
my
mixture of
curriculum,
things.
man. Like, you see me in student mode. Remember me in class? For all you wondering, even though we're colleagues now, this was my professor. This was my teacher. That's how we know each other, right? Should I not be telling the world that?
Okay, man. No,
At this point,
it's
it's
facts. You can look at it.
I'm in student mode.
And I likewise, man. I mean, anyone that I've ever learned something from, hopefully I offer something that they learn from too. But no, these are my teachers too.
Hey,
So
yeah,
it's what
I
it
was
is.
just about to say that. Hopefully, we all learn from each other.
Of course,
that
of
should be
course,
definitely one of the.
But teaching in the
goals
like
thing.
academic, like structural sense, which this is why we're here, right?
Yeah.
It's to break out the boundaries and the borders of like what learning is,
Right.
and what teaching is.
Right.
Like, can it just be building? And you always say that. And you remind me of that. Like, we're building. Like, and I think that's all we can ask of ourselves.
Yeah.
Anything more is unreasonable and is overwhelming and cruel to ourselves. Let's just build every day,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
One to live by, right there, man.
Yeah, that building is meaning, and I've been on this path now where, being a parent, man, it's like, I feel like having a life of meaning is better than having a life of happiness, or rather, having a life of meaning makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? They go
that's
hand
deep.
in
I
hand.
gotta
A lot
think-
of times
I
we're
have to
taught
think
to
about that a
separate
little
the
bit.
two, or
Ooh,
we're conditioned
yeah.
to separate the two. A lot of times we're conditioned to separate the two. But if we can find a way to have a life of meaning, which is what this is, right? I'm happy because I have fun here.
That's all life is about.
Yeah, man. Like in class,
We're not having fun. What are we doing?
Exactly.
Great point, man. Yeah, this thing is hard enough, just all by itself. So,
What are we on time-wise? How long have we been going?
man, we've
2
been
hours?
going
Oh
on.
yeah, just a little over,
Yeah, a minute and
a
50.
little under.
No, an hour and 50. I
Barbara
said a
Bell.
minute and 50.
What do you guys
That's
want to do? You
hilarious.
want to wrap it? Or you want to keep going? Should we look at what's left?
Yeah, well, we have one big topic we want to talk about. We definitely want to hit on the reparations
Well,
thing.
who
Let's
are
go.
our
Say that.
who are our
Let's do that.
sheroes?
Yeah, who are our
Sheroes
heroes
and
in history?
reparations, and then let's
Okay.
then
Yeah,
we'll do the
so
plugs.
good segue, and
Yeah.
we'll finish on that Black History Month tip, with two very topical things.
Well,
but that's just something I was thinking about, like who are the heroes throughout history or even contemporarily that like really stood out to you, and maybe give one reason why. I know who I'm gonna say, but go ahead.
I'll start. My first
Can we
hero is
fill in
my
some
mother.
links that we talked about?
Mm-hmm.
My first hero is my mother.
Ooh, okay, I like that. Keep it close to home.
My mother. As far as Black History Month is concerned, my mother has been everything for me. She gave me life and saved my life, and she gave me a knowledge of self. And my mother is my hero. And every black woman in America, as far as Black history is concerned, deserves their individual trophy. I don't think there's any
That's amazing,
prominent
man,
black woman because of any particular thing that holds them over anybody else. So for me, it's my mom. But I have to throw one other person in for Black history.
Give us a name.
My grandmother.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
Make sure they're catching you on camera.
My
too.
grandmother. My grandmother is from New Rochelle, New York, and she is responsible actually for. She was the biggest proponent and activist in the desegregation of schools in New Rochelle.
Wow. Okay. That's some
Her
history
name's
there.
Pauline Flippin. If you look her up, New Rochelle. This is in the 50s. I don't know if this is like on Google right now, but She was heavily involved in desegregating schools in New Rochelle during the 60s. So she's
What's her name?
Pauline Flippin. So she's my hero. Her, my grandmother, and my mother. Right?
There's like a million names coming up.
What else?
Okay, that's pretty big, man.
I didn't know there were other Flippins like that.
Yo,
I've
you
always
start
been looking
meeting-
for
That's
other
You
a
gotta
Flippins.
common last
You're
name,
gonna start
man.
meeting white relatives, man.
There
Right.
it is. You
You got a long lineage,
go
bro.
down. But those are my two sheroes, my grandmother and my mother.
Okay.
All right.
That's what's
That's
up,
beautiful,
man.
man.
So yeah, that's a great thing. So yeah, as far as me or whatnot, I'm gonna pick some people from history. So I'll keep the list pretty limited. I mean, like you said, man, all of these women, they all kept this continuity going on. When you talk about the Black freedom struggle and just passing that baton and struggle and how it's just been an ongoing thing. I feel like, women necessarily tend to get written out of the history a lot of times. And then when they are written in the history, their images and their stories are kind of distorted or
Right.
watered down, or they're not always given credit. So
Patriarchy minimizes and diminishes.
that's always played a factor in movements too, man. I mean, we're starting to see that now because there's been a lot more scholarship written about some of the movements that came before us. So you are seeing women that are starting to get their just due. And one that especially came to mind because I read the book. I finally got around to it. I had the book. It was called The Rebellious Life of Rosa Parks.
Okay.
So I did not know Rosa Parks' whole story. I knew about her, protesting and sitting on the bus and, not getting up. I knew there was a lot more to that, but I finally read that book. I just finished it.
Do you like
And,
this link, Mike? The
Yeah,
Beacon one
Jean
directly?
Theo Harris. Yep. Yeah, that's who
What
published it.
stood out the most about her life aside from her, her
Just the work
efforts
she
and-
put in.
okay.
Not just
with
before
the NAACP, you mean?
that, and I mean, she was an independent activist too. But I mean, at the Highlander School, I think she got trained there. I didn't know all of that. I just finished the book in the middle of January, so I had it sitting in my collection for 3 years, like we all do. We got books sitting around, and I finally picked it up, and I was like, I started to learn a little bit of it because I had watched like segments on Democracy Now and whatnot, and they were getting into more of the story, but. That woman, Jean Theo Harris, she did a great job writing that book, The Rebellious Life of Rosa Parks. And the thing that really stuck out to me is even after the bus boycott, she didn't stop her activism there. I mean, she became a pariah down there in Montgomery, and she had to move up to Detroit. But she did activism around issues like anti-imperialism, I think housing rights. These are not things that they told us before. What up, Scotty? That's my boy Scotty.
It's funny.
Ohio.
Is that Scotty? Oh, so Scotty, it's funny you say that because as soon as he said that, I was thinking that because I had a
You say about barbershop the
No,
Mountain?
I was thinking about
when
the
someone
scene.
says a comment, repeat it so the audience can
Okay,
say what
so
you said.
Scotty said, "What did you think about how the movie The Barbershop depicted her?" It's funny because when he said that, that was one of the first places I thought about. And earlier in the show, I talked to my friend Alex, and I talked about the conversation I had with my friend about the Kaepernick thing. And I think there's some truth to that, but it's not to take anything away from Rosa Parks and who she was in the movie.
Wait a minute, truth to what?
To what Cedric the Entertainer's character said in the movie. He was like, he was like, Rosa Parks, the only thing Rosa Parks did is sit her head down in the fight. He said, what he was saying is that there were a lot, and this is true, there were a lot of people who did what she did.
Oh, before her,
her,
they tried it before
that
her.
got thrown in jail, that didn't get the press, but because she worked for the NAACP at the time when that happened, she had the kind of political pull, and also it was the perfect timing during the civil rights movement for that to be used as a way to galvanize the movement, not to take anything away from her. I
Right,
just think
she was an activist before that.
Exactly.
She actually got to start doing work on black women who were being sexually assaulted.
That's what I'm
you're
saying.
Totally not on camera most of the time.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
No,
shit,
no,
get in
yeah.
here. My bad.
But
Squeeze on in.
but I agree. I just
Right.
I think that
I forgot about the Cedric the Entertainer.
and there's something to be said about that. Like unless you research Rosa Parks, people get away with how pop culture minimizes people's efforts because. If I wasn't an academic, right? If I didn't do my own research, like follow things up, and I saw that movie, a lot of people run with that shit. You might run into some young dude that, man, Rosa Parks didn't do, like quoting what they saw from a movie, and that becomes the, but
Hand him a book if you run into that guy.
so I think
Hopefully
what
he'll
the
read
movie might have been, that might have been true that was the reason why. But like Mike said,
this woman dedicated her life to activism, and maybe she was at the right place at the right time for that particular, situation, but it doesn't reduce any of her efforts and what she did for the movement.
I definitely recommend that book. People should check that out. The Rebellious Life of Rosa Parks.
And Cedric the Entertainer is a clown anyway.
It was,
no shot.
He's a comedian. Hey, I laughed at that. I laughed at that.
He's a clown. And most of the
You're
people
a clown, no shot, that's a shot.
Most of the people in that flick were like,
You're a clown,
I'll just say are opportunists and are not learned.
No shade,
I don't know.
I'm not really saying fuck you, but fuck you.
Oh, I like that. Okay, Claudette Colvin. Yeah, she was a teenager.
But she was she turned out to be pregnant by a married man, so it wasn't marketable. Rosa was respected and married.
Ooh.
Yeah, you see all these different dynamics where
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want to relate the same, but it's we can, when it comes to the black struggle, there's no one person that you can like give too much credit to, because so many people,
The foot soldiers.
there's no love for the foot, and the foot soldiers are the ones who really put their lives on the front line.
You're right about that.
And this idolizing or turning people into icons and reducing all the other reducing all the other efforts that the people at the bottom did, I feel like reduces the struggle. When we put all these names on, because that's what's happening now. We have entertainers who are the voices and the faces for the struggle, and they don't really represent the struggle, right?
It's an awkward space for them.
Exactly.
They don't know what to do.
But see,
that's our Jay-Z conversation.
Yeah. But
Kendrick even.
Yeah, and in light of what you're saying, I've had to check myself over time as I learn more to not be mad at these individuals, because they're being played too, like the Kanye West thing at the White House. I had to step back and not be mad at Kanye West.
I was. He was a clown.
Well, yeah, but who gave him that platform?
True. He got played. I mean.
Well, it's not. They're playing us. We're getting played because a CNN platform. You should know not to bring somebody as crazy as Kanye West to meet with the president to speak on black issues. What makes Kanye West qualified?
We ain't got no say so.
So, when Denzel said, when they asked him about mass incarceration, he's like, it starts in the home.
That was a bad look for Denzel. I remember
but
flaming his ass on
Denzel's
Facebook.
lived in a $20 million mansion since 1992.
Right.
So what connection does Denzel Washington have with what poor working class black folks go through today?
None.
Floyd and all these people. Yeah, I'm going into Gucci even after all that bullshit. But it's the media that chooses to go in, let's go interview this guy. We know he's going to say something stupid. So let's make it like let's create a narrative. And then we get mad at these individuals when they shouldn't have been there anyway.
Right.
So.
We shouldn't be looking at them at that, from that vantage point anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great point that you make about.
Shout out to Rosa Parks.
Yeah, let's do away with the great man, great woman theory.
And long live Killmonger.
Yeah.
So can we get to this quick?
Of course.
Little update. I just want to give a shout. Right here. I'm gonna put the link up. Listen to Kendrick, L.A., Oakland, Black Panther.
Somebody left a comment. Kanye's father was a former Black Panther and his mother was a professor. He knows better. I don't know, man. Hollywood ain't no joke, my man.
No, I remember how he started. I mean, he was talking about some things.
I know, but he came to Hollywood.
I don't know, my guy.
Hollywood is no joke, baby.
My guy.
Yo, here's something to think about.
The sun, someone did one word, right?
Here's something to think about. People who are look at how Snoop is still Snoop, because he's from here. He knows what Hollywood is. Dre, Quick, all of the brothers that are in the industry that come from here, they remain the same. It's when people who are not from here come into Hollywood and get caught up,
crazy.
They don't know what they're fucking with, man, and then they lose their minds over time. I'm sure he wasn't in his right mind.
Well, that was the plea he was copping. He was talking about mental health, but then he keeps doing it and doubling down. So
I think something.
I kind of think the mental health is a little con at this point. Well, a big con. I think he's a guy who's obviously narcissistic and kind of full of himself and doesn't have anybody to check him. So that's my summary on Kanye West. But it's too bad he doesn't make good music anymore too. That's the real tragedy.
So this is the first purge.
Yeah.
What are we looking at, Jeff?
Congratulations to the team, to the squad. talking about Ryan Coogler, Ephraim Walker, Michael B. Jordan, Gerard McMurray, the whole family that was in the spot. So happy birthday, first of all, Gerard, and what an amazing week for this crew, this team. I was blessed to witness the Bay in LA, I guess you'd call it, but I just want to say briefly, like, the takeaway I was able to say I was part of being able to celebrate this news. Michael B. Jordan has a new film coming out, but it's a partnership with the director of The First Purge. If you haven't seen The First Purge, it basically reads like if you don't know The Purge, the brief version is murder, like everything's legal on one day of the year.
Right.
That's the franchise.
Right.
The First Purge sold more than any tickets of any before. Globally, it was like 200 million, and they made it for 16. And the whole thing was people of color leads. It was like if Jordan Peele did like psychological Get Out thriller, this one was like the slasher, shoot 'em up, kill,
Right.
black. I haven't seen it. Now
I passed on it, yeah, but now I'm gonna see it.
Because basically it's like, I'll just give you the preview.
The original
they like
Purge
kill
is the first Purge.
They kill. It's like black folks go and kill Klans member at their doorstep.
The First Purge?
That's the film that, yeah.
I'm going.
yo,
It's out, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going.
No, I'm saying, look, and what came off of it, it's him and Michael B. Jordan team up, and Jordan's like the biggest in Black Hollywood right now.
Right. So the guy that directed The First Purge is doing a movie with Michael B. Jordan now?
And it was his birthday this weekend, so happy birthday, Gerard. Yeah. But like,
Silver Bear, is that like
it's coming out.
is that Marvel or it's just a...
No, it's like based on a novel, I think.
Okay.
Let me see. But they doing Creed 2.
I like Michael B. man.
Okay, so also just
Creed
shout
2.
shout to
Oh,
the
Creed 2
team.
is out already. I saw
No,
it.
he came out already.
Yeah.
So shout to the team. Creed 2 is a success financially, critically. It says it right there. And then also Black Panther 3 coming. I mean, look at this team, man. Black Panther 3 is coming out. They did the Kendrick
They're doing
soundtrack that
two?
we just talked about.
They're doing 2 more Black Panthers?
Oh no, Black Panther 2 is coming out. But then it's
I wouldn't doubt.
sorry,
Don't doubt.
but
That's a franchise right
be
there.
Black Panther's in Infinity War. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's pretty much part of the franchise. I'm saying, but what I wanted to make clear to the audience, because it's important to me in communicating, like, what you all see on big culture is always this. Relationships, building deeply, like, and knowing who you are, and then connecting who you are in relationship to other people. So I witnessed this dive bar, man, just chilling. It was an amazing spot. Salute, and it was just like, come in. Smoking patio. It's like Cali, Amsterdam now.
This was last night, right?
Yeah, and like a dope spot.
Recap,
Man.
yo.
Was MJ there?
No, but everyone else was.
Coogler?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I had daddy time. I had to leave about midnight.
Is this the same guy that did Creed 2?
Partier, I like it.
Because that was his man. That he hooked one of his... Somebody under him is who he gave... Because he wasn't ready to do Creed 2, right?
I'm not saying it, like, what I do is anything that's on the internet I can validate,
Right.
and everything else is personal. So, Ephraim and Coogler met at USC.
Right.
And Ephraim Walker executive produced Fruitvale Station.
Okay.
I was telling Mike on the phone, he went for entertainment law at USC. We ended up getting a Juris Doctorate at JD while he got a minor in film. It took him 5 years instead of 4 because you got to get that. That's amazing. That's basically getting a doctorate in law while you're an undergrad.
Right.
Smart dude. Shout to you again. And then Coogler was in film school and he had to do like the thesis and stuff like that. But so Ephraim goes back to the Bay and then he works, or I'm not sure, are you from the Bay, but he's in the Bay. I think so, yeah. And he works for John Burris, this law firm, and Oscar Grant gets killed. And the family hires John Burris' law firm. And
Wow.
Ephraim's a legal consultant there. And he's homies with Coogler. You know what I'm saying?
That's a trip, how the movie came together.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Ryan Coogler,
but
man.
and check this out, man.
I like Ryan Coogler.
Yo, and check this out, though. So, I invited Ephraim to come to Dominguez Hills. We screwed Fruitvale, and he, like, told the stories, man. Like, the real... 2014?
That's when the movie debuted, right?
Yeah, I was out of school then. I graduated by then.
That must have been pretty dope, man, because I remember just...
I'm a huge fan of Ryan Coogler and everything he does, man. Every movie he's made so far has been flawless. Flawless. And he does his homework. He's like the ideal, you know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of respect for Ryan Coogler.
I feel like, I want people, if you want to see someone that keeps it real, regardless of, wow.
Which interview did you tell me about?
This
I remember
was
when the
the
movie
old
came
one.
out. All right, yeah, I never got around to watching it too, but you said he kept it a buck, huh?
On what?
It was like I think a Breakfast Club or Hot 97 interview that Coogler had. Or
Did
something.
you see Black Panther?
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I'm not even superhero guy like that, but I watched that. And I was like, damn, I saw it twice.
I mean, this
So-
this. I mean, this is the most recent Coogler, but like he always says the same. I haven't even watched this. I'm not worried about it, but I'm saying the older stuff on Hot 97, like him and Coogler. Oh, look at that! I didn't even decide that. That's my jam right there. He's gonna take us there. The algorithms. See, that's when robots know us better than we know ourselves.
Man,
They heard us talking
AI,
about it.
That AI, it's either that or they scoop, they peep it in on us.
Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler both did Hot 97 with Ebro, the old man, and I love Ebro. He's like the,
Clickbait Ebro.
I'm not a
That's
fan.
what Pusha T calls him. Clickbait Ebro.
I'm not a fan.
I like Ebro. He's necessary
I'm
in
not
the
a
culture.
fan.
I feel like he wants to like no shots at Ebro. I like how we give shots and we say no shots.
Yeah, yeah.
No shots at Ebro.
No cap as a kid.
But it's like he wants to be Sway.
Ooh.
Maybe.
You
I
I think Sway is.
No, I don't think he wants to be.
Sway is an
But
institution.
he's got a
man.
different lane. But I'm saying like if you had to put that in a genre, it's a genre now because of
when I
Ebro.
say I don't rock with Ebro,
Sway stood by himself for like 20 years.
let me
Now it's a genre.
let
That's
me
true.
rephrase it. I'm not gonna
Charlamagne's
say
in third.
I'm not. I can't stand Charlamagne.
Ooh.
But
Ooh, I want to hear that. But go
Ebro,
on,
I think
go in.
Ebro.
We're really gonna get shot because of the podcast.
And that's a shot.
Please don't shoot me.
Not a
Maybe-
shot.
We
I
still
really
need a
would-
title to this
If I
podcast.
had
Maybe
to
that should be
duke,
it.
look, if I had to duke it out with Rory from Joe Budden podcast, I'm gonna need like 3 dudes. That
I
dude is the dude is fucking yoked. He's Irish and he's like in his mid-20s. I'm done.
Rory is
Well,
dope to me. A lot of
here's the
people
thing.
hate
I
him.
love Rory,
I think
but I think
Ebro-
you
Dope.
can hate me because I like.
I think
I'm a
Ebro is
nerd.
good for pop culture. I don't think Ebro is good for hip hop culture. I think that
I like
his
Paul,
his
though.
perspective is very pop culture like, and sometimes he tries to say
All right,
which he
cut
does.
Okay.
But I don't think that he's hip hop. I think he's more pop culture.
Ebro.
I think-
Pop culture guy.
I think Charlamagne's an opportunist. I don't think he cares about. I think he's just an opportunist.
Just trying to pop off. You
Did you
think?
see his stuff on mental health though?
He's been on that wagon for a
Yeah,
minute. That mental
but
health
again,
shit.
he's a victim of mental health, and he's famous, so they use him as a spokesperson.
I don't think they used him. I think that was his own moves.
I know, but did you read Black Privilege?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Even the concept of that, I can tell that's what you're thinking. Like, what do you mean by Black Privilege? He has a book that.
No, I know, man. I'm familiar. That to me, that was an amazing market flip.
Yeah, but that's why I say he's an opportunist.
Right.
Well, he's a drug dealer by trade.
Nah, no,
Nah,
man.
L,
Yo,
I'm
look,
saying, look, L, L. I'm saying this because he references it.
I know.
Every time he needs street cred, and I'm like, but I'm saying also as a business sense, he said his dad he drug dealed with his dad for like 10 years.
Sure, but obviously he wasn't successful as a drug dealer, which probably means he was nickel and diamond if he has a radio show. Because
Jesus
drug dealer, I'm saying, yo.
Probably. I don't know.
Maybe it sounds like I'm.
Yeah, it's shot. Dude, we don't have enough security to handle these.
Nah, you don't gotta
live
worry about
Facebook
that.
things.
You don't gotta worry about that. I'm from the street. If Charlamagne wants to see me, he can come see me. But it's not that serious.
Yeah,
to
he's gonna
begin
hop on
with.
a flight all
It's not that
the way to
serious.
Long Beach.
It's
Good
not
point.
that-
Good point.
it's
Good
not
point.
that
He
serious.
would say the same thing.
It's
all
not that
radio.
serious to begin with because I'm not an opportunist, number one. So I'm
Right,
not
right.
saying what I'm saying to gain clout over him.
Ooh,
That's
no
not
clout
what my-
chasing.
what my-
This is
that's
a
not
no
what
clout
I'm here
chase
for.
zone, people.
I'm saying
No
I
clout
don't like people speaking on behalf. It's dangerous when the media puts people
Mike,
in front of the camera.
Ooh, yeah. Leave that
people
there. I'll
put-
be getting to that after.
When the media puts people in the front of the camera that are supposed to represent black people that don't understand anything, or rather are opportunists. And
I just feel like Charlamagne put himself there. I think he's a hard worker.
yeah, of course. Well, in
He
that
got his
case,
grind, though.
I don't take anything away from him as far
Right.
as that.
Mike, scroll up so the recent comments pop up at the
Oh,
top.
okay, for sure. Hot 97. and
Thank you.
Breakfast
Yes,
Club.
Scotty, I agree.
Me and Scotty
Now-
talked about that.
You-
About New York hip hop
I
and what
agree.
happened to
I
it.
agree. It's toxic. It's-
Remember to read the comment if you're responding to it so the audience knows.
Yeah.
So
Hot 97.
Scotty said yep, and then he said Hot 97 and
Okay.
Breakfast Club held back New York hip hop in the 2000s. Not
Ooh,
only
that
did they
facts?
hold back hip hop, they changed the culture of hip hop into they helped shift it over from hip hop culture to pop culture because they themselves are products of pop culture. And they're mixing their experiences on the streets or out, just being out with the principles and codes that hold the culture together. So they're opportunists, and I think that's the best characterization of like this generation is like this opportunity. And I get that, you know what I'm saying? Get the bag, get yours, make your money, but at what cost?
Everybody's taking a shortcut.
You know, the Kamala Harris interview. You know,
the reparations shit. Now.
Yeah, this is kind of segueing into Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? Like, they're not asking the right. They have all these people in the media who are not qualified to ask the right questions. You get what I'm saying? So that's my beef with them. But I'm not.
Charlamagne threw a few at her though when he asked her about specific black agenda. He asked Cory Booker too. I'm not caping for Charlamagne because I don't think he should be doing those interviews. But
exactly.
He did hit them and he put them. You can see them squirming a little bit.
Does he know what he's asking them?
Well, he's picking that up from the zeitgeist, from what's
whatever.
happening out there. Like people are bringing up those issues.
If you're gonna ask those questions, be learned on those questions. A little bit. You can just Google it before you go in.
I agree. Yeah, you preach.
I'll take Charlamagne. I think he's the best we got in the culture. Right? I mean, in pop culture?
Nah.
I'll take him.
I'd say the guys from the...
I'd take Sway over Charlamagne any day.
Yeah. Sway's done a little cooning, too, in his day.
Yeah, but he still is true to the
Low
culture.
Key.
I think...
No shots, but Sway was a...
I think Sway does what he has to do to keep his job. But for the most part...
to keep my life.
But for the most part, I think Sway is true to the culture.
Oh, no doubt.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I grew up listening to...
I'm just talking about the culture.
Sway and Tech, I used to tape that shit on cassettes.
You know, he runs... He's like the top of MTV. I don't tune into MTV anymore. He like runs MTV now.
Right now? Like
he's like the 506 in Park, like their most popular video show, that fucking corny shit.
That's BET.
No.
106 in Park is...
I know whatever the equivalent is on MTV.
Yeah,
okay. Called Video Request Live or whatever. That's Sway's show, man.
Really?
So and because aren't tuned in anymore, Sway has been that for that demographic for
I didn't even know
25 years.
I didn't know that. Like recently.
Who stays consistently in that demographic and doesn't put Lamborghinis across everything? Like that dude is so rich, low key, and he's doing politics like a mother.
That's why I say
I love him
Sway,
so much.
Sway represents the culture.
Okay, look,
I can rock with Sway.
I'm gonna put something on the calendar right now. Y'all put this on the calendar. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay. May 2019, you're gonna see these dudes and myself doing a live on the road from Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna do a Rhyme Sayers sound set hosted by Sway, going on 8 years. We're gonna go hang with Sway at the Fifth Element, where Atmosphere came up. Underground hip hop still in Minnesota.
I'm taking it to the essence.
We're gonna go to the underground in the Midwest.
Word.
And that's a trip that
I might have to write some bars for that.
You want to jump
the
in
only
that
reason we're doing that, I'm not gonna be like oh, we can ball and get on jets. I'm going out there for my sister Hannah. Congratulations, getting her nursing doctorate.
Ooh, that's big, man.
I'm going out there for a week.
I got 3 nurses
Can
in
we
the
get
family.
like a flex bomb when we have like somebody
Drop
in
bomb.
our family, somebody in our circle that's
Yeah,
doing
we
things,
turn
we
this
can
up.
just drop them up.
Just briefly.
That's it. Ooh, congratulations. Speaking of Rosa Parks, rest in peace, Rosa Parks.
And right now, my brother-in-law is celebrating his 40th birthday in Minneapolis. I can't be there because no funds right now.
Happy
Shout out to
birthday,
you, brother.
Andy.
Happy birthday.
And we had to do a playlist, and like I hope you enjoy, bro. I'm not gonna say that's a little bit of surprise, but da-da-da.
Happy birthday. What's your brother's name?
Andy.
Andy, happy birthday, Andy.
Brother-in-law.
Shout out.
So anyway,
Shout
we're
out
gonna
to
bring the
Andy.
party to Minneapolis, and I'm gonna talk with the guys, but we're gonna add a few days, probably minimally 3, but we might push it to 5 if we're really liking it. But probably about a little 3.
Hopefully it's not 3
So we got-
degrees
we got
below
234.
No, we're going
zero.
in May. We're going in May.
That's what's up. We got
And-
234 people in
Yeah,
the chat
for sure.
now. And Scotty said, plus Charlamagne thought it was okay to go on the R. Kelly documentary, and he knew he had to deal with the Jessica Reed
Speaking of
issue.
Dream Hampton, she apologized for that.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she didn't know that
She did.
he had some dirt in his closet. So
That's what's up.
that's a good point, man. When you start talking about hypocrisy and people, he's been going hard on that R. Kelly thing, and Star from
All I'm
Star and
saying-
Buckwild fame has been putting him on blast on this Jessica Reed thing. But
So-
go ahead with your point.
Well, no, let's get off that. We talked about all that enough. Like we know what the deal is.
Yeah, that was
Reparations.
Ooh, okay. So me and the homie Scotty, we actually talked about ADOS and
You gonna do
reparations.
the-
the other
Scotty,
day.
are you a
I think it was
proponent
gonna
or
be the show.
opponent of the ADOS movement?
Yeah. My guy here, he makes the case real.
Mike and I are on two different sides of this, respectfully. Jeb, what are your thoughts on reparations, man?
How much do you all want?
There
Just-
you go.
just-
That's the right answer. That's what I'm talking here.
Just the.
Take my check. Cut that check. CTC.
I mean,
cut the check.
go in, man. If you have a lot to say about it, speak on it. But
That
what do
was
you-
it.
Well,
What's the bill? And let's pay it.
yeah. No, I think that's the right tact. I don't think anybody. who
what
looks-
else? What? Like,
Well, no, I mean,
was
there's-
that enough? I don't know.
Well,
I'm gonna do your
here's the thing.
itinerary.
Here's the thing. There's Mary. I
Black
don't know-
folks say this is what you owe, so you pay it.
I don't know if everybody knows, but there are about 15 Democratic candidates now running for president.
Yeah, talk about yeah.
Marianne Williamson is the only one on her that has reparations for African Americans on her agenda. Now, you know, politics is politics, so I know that first thing people say is, well, she's not going to do it, or you're not going to get enough money, and da 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 da. But nevertheless, she has that on her agenda. And since she proposed that, people like Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren have kind of hijacked that, but they don't include it as an agenda. They just say that it's something that they're going to talk about, and you know, it's due to black folks. But it's the ADOS movement is the American Descendants of Slaves. That's what it stands for, and it's a movement for reparations for blacks and for black people in America. There's a lot of confusion about it because of the political climate. There are all these different issues around that seem to clog the conversation. So you know, we're presenting it. I am a proponent of the ADOS movement. I'm not a member, but shout out to Tone Talks, Antonio Moore, Sandy Darity, and Yvette Carnell. They are the ones who you could say have galvanized this movement. The ADOS
Facts.
movement, I cannot say that they created it. I think it's been in the works since 40 Acres and a Mule.
Shoot, way back. Special
But
order.
it is, given this political climate, it's there.
What's going on with the link here?
You know,
What do you need?
I need to cut and paste.
Do,
it's
do this. This
what
one?
does the audience think? If we can get some comments, somebody to
Flower
call in.
It's a keyboard with flowers.
Mike, you want to go? You want to speak on it?
Oh, just
I can
from
do
what
it.
respect? Yeah, just go ahead and link that. But yeah, as far as we're gonna put a link up to a recent interview, I think it was maybe a day or two ago, from Tone Talks with Marianne Williamson. That's the presidential candidate that my homeboy L just made a reference to, and yeah, as far as presidential candidates, you know, raising the issue of reparations, that's great, excellent. I think that's a real that should be attributed to people on the internet and people who've been talking about this for years, and they put enough pressure on it, you know, over the years to raise it up to the level of where it could be talked about on some mainstream sort of outlets. So I mean, that's huge. I'm all for reparations with no conditions. For black people, absolutely, a crime was committed here. We gave nearly 300 years of free labor to build this thing from the ground up. I thought, you know, a few years ago,
Say that again, Mike.
Almost 300 years of free labor.
It's not just labor though, man.
From
Yeah.
the what?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
From
add
the
up.
what? From
From
the
the
what?
ground up. From the ground up. The free labor. Then you get into, you
And
know,
still,
Black
Right.
Code,
and still,
Jim Crow, the
people
new
still
Jim
try to-
Crow, the
debt
new Jim,
peonage,
the new Jim Crow.
sharecropping.
Let me clarify
And
something.
still-
There's some confusion about the ADOS movement in relation.
and everything's not on fire yet.
Oh, it's on
And
fire.
still,
Right.
It's on fire. It
I
is
mean-
on fire.
come on.
Yeah, but go in. Go in.
There's this confusion about black people reparations for black people coming in the way of immigration rights or any other group's rights, and the two are not necessarily related at all. No one is saying that the two have no relationship. But if we look at what black people go through today, okay, just speaking for myself in the political game, politics are very objective. and black people cannot. Black people have been used as pawns in the political game.
Go to the Intercept. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the Intercept has a good article about it.
That's recent.
Black people
I
have
think that's
basically
the best
been
piece I've
used as
read.
pawns in the political game for all different groups and different agendas. And
that's
so,
Bomb piece.
because black people live under a third-class citizenship status in the United States, black people cannot afford to not demand reparations. And if we're talking about inequality and giving something to people that deserve it, nobody deserves reparations more than African Americans. So that's what we're addressing. It's not at the exclusion of immigrants. It's not at the exclusion of indigenous people's rights. And by the way, I stand in solidarity with anybody who's fighting for their freedom and their liberation. However, when it comes to Native Americans' claim to their land, I encourage them to fight and continue to do what they're doing, but that is something separate from what black people are demanding. The two are not connected. They have nothing to do with each other. But it seems like when we talk about people of color, we want to bunch black people in with this universal, colorful idea that we all go through the same things. We're all oppressed in different ways. But if we're talking about resources, black people have a specific claim that's due to them. And that's where we're coming from. And if Native Americans, which they're already doing, claiming their indigenous rights, if Latinos and Hispanics decide to do that, we stand in solidarity with that. All of what immigrants are fighting for, we stand in solidarity with that. Black people came here as slaves. There's this idea, this misinformation about black people being immigrants. Black people in America, ADOS.
Who said that black people were immigrants?
I've heard Angela Rye say that.
I just want you to put her name on
CNN,
blast.
and even the conversation in general, most people assume, I've heard black people say that more than any other group of people say that because they're uninformed and don't know they don't know the issues. They don't know what's really going on. So black people did not come here as slaves. Did not come here as immigrants.
Right.
We were kidnapped and forced to come here and work as slaves. It's a different claim. And if we're talking about, any particular group getting any kind of resources from the United States, black people should be first on that list, not excluding the struggles of other people. So please, for the audience and people out there who think that black people are saying, fuck immigrants and fuck everybody else, we just want ours. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that we have a specific and legitimate claim, okay? And there's history to back that up. And we're tired of being used as pawns for politics. And I'll give you an example. Kamala Harris has been chosen to be the face of the Democratic Party, okay?
Tell them, right.
Kamala Harris is not a black woman. And when I say black, I'm not talking about color. I mean, her experience is not the black experience, okay? And the Democratic Party chose her to be the face to represent black people, right? And nothing on her agenda specifically addresses the needs of African Americans. Not only that, all of her policies go completely against what African Americans go through in this country. For example, she created truancy laws, which basically puts people in jail for being poor. Right?
Punitive, man.
Right?
Punitive.
Putting parents in jail for their children missing school. She made a career prosecuting black and brown men for smoking marijuana. And here she's on the Breakfast Club talking about
yucking it up.
My cousins are all they asked her if she smokes weed and she said I'm Jamaican, and I recommend you guys.
the years off. Remember they were like, oh, I smoked in college and Tupac is like 85. Like,
Right.
She
She had those pre-Machiavelli bootlegs.
Right. Oh, my family is Jamaican, so all Jamaicans smoke weed. What music do you like? Oh, I'm Cardi. I like Cardi B and Too Short.
Yeah.
Now, if this was a black person,
That's interesting.
not the Migos in them and not pop culture, but if anybody knew black culture, they would know that is the most disrespectful thing you could say.
I'll flip it again. What if she was white? What if she was Hillary Clinton
Said that?
Hillary tried to do that, remember?
No, but what if
tried to
Hillary
do that
said
thing.
that? Or what if a white guy said that? But if Hillary said that, she'd be out of here.
She'd be out of here. I mean,
The hot sauce was borderline, but she went, and she like broad stroked it and missed Pac by 10 years.
Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
And it's like,
Murder.
It might be a death knell, I
and
don't
it
know.
shows her disconnect
Murder,
from
bro.
the black experience.
Huh?
Like she is not a black woman in her experience.
So, and it was very disrespectful, some of the things she said, and she didn't even realize it. And that's who the Democrats chose to be the face for Black America.
Bernie's back. No?
Bernie's back, yeah. Bernie's
Uncle
cool.
Bernie.
I'm rocking with Marianne Williamson.
I just want to give Bernie, what's it called when a kid jumps on your back? Piggyback ride.
You want to give him a piggy, or you want him
Yo,
to give you?
man.
You might throw his
Oh,
shit
by
out.
the way,
Bernie's
shout
like
out to
90
Bernie. Shout out to
Bernie's like
Bernie.
80 years
There's
old.
nothing against Bernie.
I
love Bernie. Shout out to Bernie.
I got a Bernie story, and I got Bernie footage that I can't pull up in real time because I'm not that savvy right now.
What's the story? I've
What's
never
the
heard
story?
of
I'll
it.
put it
Yeah,
up
I've
later.
heard this
No,
one.
but this was what was wild, man. So, people that know me and who I'm connected to, etc., etc. I've been in DC a lot, but not doing political work. More like I would say cultural work. So I'll just leave it like that. So I go to the Smithsonian a lot, right? And I'll say just as a researcher, people know me, I'm in the Smithsonian, but also I'm just like vibing out, doing the family thing. So I'm killing time because my family members are in meetings, doing their thing. So me and little one are rolling. We go.
This
to
is in Long Beach?
Smithsonian, bro, the Washington
That's
Mall.
big
Oh,
time,
in
man.
DC,
Cool.
man.
Big
Cool,
time.
my bad.
He's doing
This-
on another
this-
I
level.
missed that. I was
No,
Level
I
up,
was
bro.
reading.
It's
Level
not.
up.
Look, it's not leveling, man. They're all free to get in.
Oh, it is. See, I ain't never been. I didn't know this.
Mike, that's
I thought it was
why.
an arm and a leg.
Look, this is why I talk about this. These budget vacations. We go to Minneapolis.
Balling on a budget.
You
I
can
like
get
it.
you can
That's
get
my
there
life.
$200 per round trip. It's beautiful. I love DC because it's cheap to stay in and everything's free. All the museums, the zoo. You can spend several days just learning stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, but I know the guts of it because I'm researching, right? And then I take the little one. She's in her stroller, hitting the museum. She's sleeping at that point. She's like in her first year, so chilled out. But so I'm like, we going, and then all of a sudden, all these young kids, all these buses start hitting the mall. I'm like, what's going on? Go up there. This is right after Parkland. This was the Parkland, DC smash on 'em.
Right.
Why are they running? Sanders just popped out in his car.
He's a rock star, man.
No, check it.
Yeah.
This looked like a Justin Bieber concert. Like they were running.
How long ago?
This was like, I mean, it was a rise of Bernie.
2016?
It was like this was after the election.
He's been hot. He's been the most
Okay.
So this
popular
was this is like
politician
this is 20.
ever
This
since.
is Trump win. This is Trump wins.
Right.
And we're out here in DC. It's a little bit cold, and you got 15-year-olds going nuts like they just saw trying to touch a Beatle, like as in like the Beatles.
Yeah. No, he's really captured something.
And
That
I was like,
surprised me.
yo, he's everyone's grandpa, man. He's a dope grandpa. And I'm like, I'm gonna adopt it. I'm gonna make a shirt that says "Dope Grandpa," and it's gonna be a silhouette
face.
of Bernie's face. And y'all can
with that hair.
and y'all can contribute to my campaign to
Ooh.
pay my mortgage.
There you go. That's a campaign to get behind, people.
So Scotty said, I've been watching
That's
Yvette
2020.
Carnell for years and Antonio Moore, but I think their analysis is lacking with not connecting the issue of illegal immigration and U.S. imperialism. I have also heard them say that they're not against capitalism or condemn it. They just want to upgrade their position in capitalism. That's not accurate, brother. That's not what they're saying. That's the problem with this conversation. It's
Dude,
like
you can't yell at him because he's only typing.
Oh,
That's
no,
his
I'm not-
perspective, and your
I'm-
perspective is just different.
I'm sorry if that's how it came.
You're
off.
like,
That
it's not
wasn't-
how it is. Bro.
No, what I'm saying is what I'm not. He's got it wrong. I think he's got their agenda wrong.
Right.
I'm not saying he's got it
Right,
wrong.
right, right.
Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are saying, look, black people have a specific agenda that pertains to black people.
Oh, gotcha.
It is not to diss or to degrade what is going on with the immigration movement, but they're different. They're two different issues, and we're talking about reparations. Everybody keeps wanting to. Now, if I may, I'm gonna ask Scotty if you've traveled around the world.
Call in, bro.
Yeah, call
Scotty,
in, man.
Just
Call in,
We're
Scotty.
going back and forth.
If you want to.
Just hit the number. Hit the number.
Does he have a number?
Video.
Well, the thing that I want to say is, you know, I've traveled around the world. I've lived in Africa. I've been to Japan. I've been around the world, and America is the only place where you can use this term "people of color," okay? Or, you know, like this unification of all groups of non-white people as if we all have the same issues and agendas, right? They're not the same. Black people have something completely. Black people did not come to the United States as immigrants. Black people are not immigrants here. We were kidnapped and forced to come here to work as slaves.
And freeing the slaves did nothing for black people. It made it worse under the black codes, Jim Crow, and today we're dealing with the new Jim Crow. So the position of ADOS is not to diss the movement of immigration. ADOS is here to say black people are tired of being played as pawns in this political game. When it comes to objective politics, everybody else seems to have their...
Hold up, bro.
Okay, my bad.
I'm trying to join him. Scotty, you want to go live?
Tap in, man. That's open. We open to it. Let's talk about it. I like it. Let's get it in. By the way, this is live, folks. It's all a work in progress. So.
Oh wait, that's. Oh, that's a friend too, Boaz, man.
Right.
Sorry, Boaz. We trying to, if you want to.
While we're doing it, who's that?
We can say it's Boaz, man.
Oh, that's the homeboy from Anaheim. What up, Bo? Man, that's one of my good comrades from the anti-police brutality fight back. We were there during the riots, man. When they was throwing shit around and messing things up in Anaheim.
By the Door. That's one of my favorite flicks.
That's it's dope, isn't it? That's a classic. But yeah, it's more complicated than
I'm gonna
that.
show that to my class this semester.
Ooh, okay, that'll be a good one. That's gonna get some conversation.
Have you
going,
seen
man.
Man Friday?
I haven't, but you know what? I keep hearing about that
gotta
though.
check
That
out.
joint
It's
is
on
okay.
YouTube.
It's official.
Yeah,
Okay,
man,
I keep people talk it up, but I just haven't seen it.
Have you seen that yet?
Yeah,
What is it?
Man Friday.
it's
here we
dope.
go.
Peter
From what I'm
O'Toole.
hearing.
Peter
Here we
O'Toole
go.
is that dude.
Here we go.
What up? Tap in with Session.
Yo, Ephraim Walker wants to come on too. Let me catch Ephraim.
What? Okay, that'd be big right there. All right, y'all, this is live. We just doing this. It's raw and uncut, so we got people calling in. We're going to patch them in. We're going to have these conversations.
Ask who the 614 is.
He's in Ohio, so I don't know what the area code is.
If you on 614, we're calling you back right now.
Is that you, Scotty, 614? He's out there in Ohio.
Jonathan Salazarno reacted to a link you shared, and it was February 24th, 1999.
Oh, that was the back that ass up link.
Okay.
Oh, that was Scotty that just called in. Hit us back, Scotty. Call back, or you gonna call him?
I'm calling him now.
Okay.
614.
Yeah. We're gonna call you and plug you in, cause that's the best way to
That's that big body bitch.
talk about something like that.
Man can't keep on letting because you keep fucking a friend.
Ah man, remember that? He was so
You
greasy.
baby
It was so
cheese.
greasy in that video. Remember the video?
Baby cheese.
It was some
You got
greasy
your rock on
niggas.
fire, baby G.
That shit.
Did you hear the new Birdman song with
With you?
Juvie?
I did. Yeah, just the gangster.
Just the
something like
gangster,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of. I was.
Nostalgic, right?
I kind of want. Yeah, I want that old Cash Money vibe when they had Manny Fresh doing all the beats. But I kind of like it. So
I don't know if we.
hopefully Juvie's got his paperwork right. You know, we done heard a lot of things about Birdman and paperwork and people not getting paid. So
I guess
I don't know.
Birdman made up. You know, with the kind of work money Birdman got, he probably just broke him off a little.
Stunner Island.
He probably just broke him off a little.
Then you know, like,
Hello.
What's going on with you, Scotty? This is a work in progress, man. So if it's a little messy, you know, just hang on and don't hang up. You good?
Let me tell you, Mike. We're gonna set him up. We're gonna turn it all the way up. This is the best sound right here.
Okay, so other people can hear it.
Yeah.
All right, Scotty, we're gonna turn up the audio
So people can hear you, Scotty, on the live stream, and then we can hear you too. We're gonna set you up just a second. All right, go ahead, Mike.
All right, so yeah, we talking about
See if you can just test the sound though.
for sure. Hey, Scotty, can you hear us? Oh, okay.
It's too far.
Yeah, it's
Too
far
far.
away.
Is it a
All right.
speakerphone on? I don't think you got speaker on.
Oh yeah, hit it, Tal. Have you try again?
Yeah, it's on. You can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
yeah, we
that's
can
good.
hear you. We can hear you.
That's what's up. So yeah, you had put a few things on that up on the comment section, man, and you heard my guy L. He's disagreeing with you on one of your major points that you just posted. So we want to give you a shot to
Respectfully.
either rebut that or did you want him to clarify a little bit more what he was talking about?
Why you laughing, man?
Real time accountability on the internet.
No,
We're not
respectfully.
playing out here.
Not a game.
Just bullies out here.
Not a game. Johnny, Scotty, we just fucking around. Did you hear my question?
Yeah, okay. I'm hearing the concerns. I'm hearing what he's saying. I've watched Yvette Cornell for years. I've watched her since the days of Boyce Watkins. That's how I actually found her. I followed her when she linked up with Irony, and then her and Boyce had that falling out. I watched her when she started doing shows with Tone, so I'm very familiar with her.
Now, just
yeah,
Scotty.
You gotta give the guests the
I
benefit.
know.
of
I wanted. Okay, go on. My fault.
Okay. My issue with the AUS movement, how it's comprised now, is that, and I've heard people, fight on behalf of reparations, numerous times. This has been centuries old mission. I'm in full support of that. I am in full support of that. What I'm hearing from, at least from the shows and at least from the people surrounding the AWS movement, there's a lot of desperation, and there's a lot of and don't take this any wrong way. This isn't against you in particular. What is your name?
L.
Okay, L. I'm hearing a lot of irrational analysis, and there's not a lot of connections. She came out with the whole issue of the Africans sold us into slavery article. There's a lot of xenophobic rhetoric surrounding the whole issue, and illegal immigration, that can be a problem. The problem is that the way these people are coming in is our foreign policy. Our foreign policy is a major reason why you have illegal immigration, and you can look at Venezuela right now. They're trying to overthrow Venezuela. I've not heard many critiques about U.S. imperialism and how that causes an issue. And I understand you want to make a justice claim. That's fine. Do that. I just don't like the fact that they're doing it in a way where it splits off from other factions. If you want to get reparations, you're going to need those coalitions. You're going to need those coalitions. You are going to have to be precise with your arguments when it comes to historical facts. It's not a good thing to try to make alliances with people like Donald Trump when you're thinking it's going to benefit you in some way. I remember when she thought it was a good idea to
Trump Tower.
to work with them on the HBCU issue.
He had his Black Power fist up at the fucking press conference. Fucking dumbass. Yeah.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Sorry, Scotty. You're speaking the truth.
Yeah, this is a man that has no history in terms of reaching out to poor working class black people. As a matter of fact, he tried to keep them out of there.
That's so sad, bro. This guy is a fucking idiot and a fucking murderer, racist.
And that's what I'm saying, that it speaks of desperation.
Yeah.
When, I'm guessing a lot of people who've been let down by the Democratic Party. I've not been a Democrat in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I understand this problem. I do not think it's a good thing to make these alliances with people who don't give a damn about you, probably thinking that they'll just use this whole issue of immigration to throw a bone at you. And also, one more thing. Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter thought it was okay to kind of give them props on this one. Now, she's recognizing what the issue of immigration and them arguing on behalf of reparations is going to do. That's not a good sign. It just isn't. Now, what I would like to see from AUS is if they're going to hammer Kamala Harris, do not make her identity. Do not make her identity the prime issue. You can use her record against her. I'll just give you one name, Matrice Richardson.
Right. I know.
Matrice Richardson. Yvette Carnell did
Everyone was drinking on Saturday night.
She did an interview with him, with Matrice Richardson's father, a few weeks ago, and it's a really awful story.
Right.
And like they could use that as an example against her. Like, not like if you're going to do that, all you're going to do is just invite people like Joanne Reed, Nolan Martin, Angela Rye, who are just going to, because all they're doing is they're just fighting for the butter biscuits at the table of the Democratic establishment. That's all they're doing.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's what I like to see from AUS. I want to see a broadening of the analysis.
Good looking at.
If they can,
Toast that up.
Yeah, if they can talk about how imperialism affects their issue illegal immigration, then they might be on something. But the way I'm seeing it right now, it's too insular and it's subject to being co-opted by people like Tariq Nasheed, Boyce Watkins, and alt-right figures. And, that's just my disagreement.
Okay. All right, Scotty. So fair enough, man. That's you laid a lot out there, man. I don't know if we can promise if we could address all of that. That's quite a bit. But L, I'm gonna give you first crack at it because I see you chomping at the bit. And me and Scotty actually talked on the phone the other day. Even though this brother's out of state, good brother here, man. We chop it up all the time about politics. Definitely from a left perspective, and
Scotty, do you have access to an iPhone or iPad at some point? Not tonight, but if another show.
I have access on right now. I didn't want to be on camera.
Right.
No, fair enough. We would just, we would at some point.
I'm actually with my niece.
Right.
So that's.
We want to give different ways for people to opt in. That's all. I just wanted to ask, but to offer it up anytime.
Yeah.
But phone call, commenting is great. We just saw the comments going back and forth about let's just talk, and we appreciate you being on. I just want to say thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I thank you for letting me on. I like to actually hear this brother's perspective. I'm interested.
Yeah, we're trying to grow this show and this community, so definitely stay in touch, get connected to that session group, and it's really a community of building this content. We're going to try to do these shows locally, with audiences and with live audiences and kind of backyard living room parties, and it should be really fun, man. And rotating co-hosts, it's not just us. We're just trying to get the ball rolling so other people get on the couch and do their thing. That's
yes,
it, man.
Sir.
It's more the concept,
Right.
We're just excited for people to throw more house parties because we want to go to house parties more often. Not me. I was speaking personally, but no, it's like an underground economy. We're all exchanging resources and goods, and we just said let's support each other in whatever people are doing. So yeah, let's talk more, man. I really appreciate it.
Right.
But you guys get to debate. Get at him. Let's get the bloodbath going.
Can we get can we get and let me just put this out as a disclaimer and as a preface.
The hype up.
Because it's a lot
This
of...
is like the boat. This is like the 3 p.m. at the flagpole. Mike and me are on the outside and trying to get these guys to
I
fight.
want some of this too. So, L, you go
Mike's
first.
gonna instigate it.
Give us the under 20-minute version.
Okay. And
then I'm going to jump in, Scotty, so hold on.
Scotty talked about a lot of different things that I'd like to address, okay? Right. So let me start by saying this. First of all, I don't agree with a lot of things that Yvette Carnell says. I'm actually, I followed Antonio Moore's work more than anything, and he works with her, so I've followed some of the things, and she has said some very smart things, and I'm all about the ADOS movement. I'm not necessarily a member of what they've got going on. This is something that needs to be addressed, okay? Right. But I rock more with Antonio Moore as opposed to Yvette Carnell. Nevertheless, I want to address what... you said that black people, the ways that you said that Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell are, there's xenophobia in their language. Let me start by saying this first of all. saying that a black person in America is xenophobic is almost like calling a black person racist. Black people do not have the power or positionality to be xenophobic because they don't have anything. So their position is not against immigrants or immigrant rights. What they are addressing is how politics and the narrative can co-opt people and use people as pawns. And particularly black people have been used as pawns in the political game from the very beginning. We think of politics subjectively, okay? We do not think of politics objectively. And politics are very objective. So, to say that we are about reparations is not to reduce immigration rights. Or I shouldn't say, the movement for reparations for black people has absolutely nothing to do with immigration rights or the plight of immigrants. But let's remember, first of all, black people did not come here as immigrants. Black people were kidnapped from Africa and forced to come here to work for free. And then after slavery was over, you had black codes, Jim Crow, and then now we're in the new Jim Crow. And when it comes to politics, rather than ask you and be trivial, I'll just say this. I've lived in Japan, I've lived in Tanzania, I've lived in Kenya. I've traveled multiple different places aside from that, right? And I had never seen in my life any group of people have this universal language of for example, the term people of color, right? For us to band ourselves with everybody else's plight is very dangerous, and it's what we've always done. I stand in solidarity with all immigrants. I stand in solidarity with all peoples who are fighting for their rights. But what we are saying is that we're tired of being used as pawns. And because politics are objective, we need to be objective as well. Everybody else seems to do that. Okay, so what we're saying is, since, you know, and we're being baited and we're being used, so you alluded to Ann Coulter and all these different groups who, you know, you use the term throw a bone, and I know that Marianne Williamson proposing $100 billion over the course of 10 years is nothing comparable to what we're owed. But when you talk about coalitions and all these different groups, we are already in that position as black people in America. We are in no position to join other groups and galvanize with their issues and include ours, because we're below that. So we are in we have no political power. We have nothing that we can offer. And in fact, we're being used, right? For example, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is being used to get for the black vote, but she's not a black person. When I say black, I don't mean skin color. I mean her politics. She doesn't represent the black experience. And I've heard people like Angela Rye and Joy Reid refer to, you know, people of color as this universal term, as if black people came here as immigrants. Black people did not come here as immigrants. I said that before, but I have to keep reiterating that. And because politics are objective, we have to draw the line. And sure, it might not be enough, but we need to be objective with our politics the ways that everybody else is, including immigrants. So rather than ask you and ask you where you've been and play that game, I'm not going to do that. We're going to respect each other, and, you know, this is just a dialogue. But I have never seen anybody outside of the United States refer to themselves or their cultures as these universal cultural color terms that we play in America. If you go to Africa, for example, is something that we use. If you go to the continent, people refer to themselves based on the country they come from or the clan they come from, and even within the countries, there are a lot of differences. And like I said from the very beginning, I stand in solidarity with all groups that are fighting for liberation. But black people are in no position to jump on any other group of people's issues and you know, work with other groups when we have our, you know, there's a foot on our necks. If you look at class, wealth, none of those things address reparations for black. We literally built America. We built America. We're still third, fourth class citizens. And these terms that we use in culture where it's just people of color, that's cool, I get it.
But when it comes to politics, that is very dangerous. You know why? Because none of these communities are individually looking at us and saying, well, let's work in this way. Maybe in protests and the coalitions, yeah, but that is, when you're talking about absolute power, that doesn't even scratch the surface, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that black people cannot afford to play subjective politics when we live in a very objectively political world. And that's how we're being treated. So when Ann Coulter says, oh yeah, black people deserve reparations, or when Marianne Williamson has reparations on her agenda, and then people like Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris try to hijack that, but they only use it for conversation and talking points. They don't have actual agenda. As a black man, all I'm saying is this. I'm going for the person whose politics represent my people, because everybody else seems to be playing that game except for black people. There's a lot of, so that's just my position. I don't think that representing reparations, and I'm not saying that we're going to get it. I'm saying that everybody else is objective about their politics, even if it's, when it comes to Trump, even though he's the pussy grabber and he's as misogynist as it comes, 65% of white women voted for that motherfucker. Okay? The one time that we did do what everybody else does with Barack Obama, we didn't follow the money. And we didn't know who he was. And who did he turn out to be? He turned out to be just like any other politic which works against the black America. As a candidate, oh yeah, reparations are real. But as the president, I'm not the president of black America. I'm the president of America. You see what I'm saying? There's this game being played, and we are the only ones that seem to be moving in. We don't seem to understand how the game is being played. And we kept getting used as pawns, no matter what political. You said that the Republicans are using us, and that's just their way of dealing with immigration or pitting people against each other. Well, hey, that's nothing new. That's what it's always been. And the whole idea of confronting capitalism and again, black people are in no position to even come into that conversation. And capitalism is already destroying itself. No one group can undo capitalism. Capitalism is going to undo itself, which is already happening. But for us to be politically subjective when everybody else seems to be in their own bases and doing their own thing, we're the only ones that use terms like people of color and this rainbow coalition of politics. But when it comes down to the come down, nobody has our backs. Nobody ever has our backs. And again, the immigration conversation is a different conversation from the conversation of reparation for African Americans. And maybe Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell are not presenting that right, or maybe people are not paying attention and they're just hearing what they want to hear, because that's not what they're saying. And their movement, and maybe this is the time that the Republicans are saying to themselves, damn, we got to deal with this immigration thing. Why not give blacks something to kind of counter that? That might be their agenda. I'm pretty sure that is their agenda. But everybody else would take that bone. Everybody else is playing that game, or rather. Okay? And all I'm saying is, it'd be cool if we were, now, as far as positionality, if we're in a position to help people, then cool. I'm for that, and that's what I want to do. By the way, I'm African, not just African American. My mother's from Tanzania. So I understand what is going on. And I'm not going against my brothers and sisters or any other group of people that are fighting for their plight, for liberation. That's not what this is about. This is about black people have a very specific issue and agenda that we need to fight for. And if checks are being cut, then we need to be first in line for that check. That's all I'm saying. If checks are being cut, right? You want to give immigrants these different rights. That's cool. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because that's what divides this conversation, and it makes it look like we're saying fuck immigrants or fuck other peoples that are struggling for the same things that we're struggling for, and that's not what this is about. Don't get caught up in all that. We're saying that we are in no position to be jumping on anybody else's bandwagon or anybody else's plight, because we have a plight that is at the top of the list of plights as far as Western culture goes, or America is concerned. And we need to be smart about that. And that's it. That's all I have to say. The immigration thing has nothing to do with our claim
for reparations. That's it. That's pretty much what I had to say. Politics are objective, man. They're not subjective. Nobody in the world, if you go to Kenya and you go to Tanzania, there's a universal cultural synchronicity, right? We love each other. We know that we're all brothers and sisters. But when it comes to politics, it's objective everywhere. People identify themselves by nationality and culture. This black, white, people of color, that's very specific to Western culture. And the only people that seem to be affected by it as far as resources and politics go are black people. We're the only ones that get used in the political game. We need to draw a motherfucking line and say, yo, we're not going to play this game. Everybody else seems to be playing the game of politics except for us. My point exactly, look at how we're having this conversation out in the open. That in and of itself, nobody does this. People are not, like other groups of people are not like putting all their shit out there and telling people what they're going to do.
Real quick. You don't think open conversations are useful about these type of things? Especially when you talk about black folks right now. Me and Scotty talked about this the other day when we talk about black organization on the ground right now. I mean, outside of the nonprofits and the churches, there's not a lot of organization on the ground. So I would think that something like this open discussion is actually needed. I mean, I think this Kamala Harris thing, I love this. I love the fact that the black grassroots are pushing back to her and we're being open about this because I think it actually opens up, I think it's valuable because it opens up some political space, at least left of center. Because all of our conversations have been kind of reined in when you think about, how they're depicted in the mainstream media and who our quote unquote representatives are on these big TV networks.
Right.
I love the fact that, we're having this conversation out in the open about reparations and that it's, it's being talked up in a very public way. Because like you said, you're making a point. I mean, we are owed these things.
I'd like to address something else that Scotty said. Scotty said that, we've been shaky about Democrats for the last 11 years. I don't know what news you've been watching.
He was speaking of himself.
But the Democrats and the Republicans are two sides of the same coin.
He's agreeing with you on that.
They're two sides of the same coin. And the Democrats have never been on the side of democracy as that's just a political game. Again, Bill Clinton is Mr. War on Drugs. Tough on crime. Barack Obama deported more immigrants than all the last presidents before him combined. He was the drone president. So this idea that the Democrats represent black people is just a joke. Nobody cares about us. So we need to draw a line and say, okay, everybody else seems to draw that line. Why don't we draw that line and say we're going to do what's best for us? And when that happens, then we can support other people, but we are in no position to be helping anybody else because we got a foot, calf, knee, we're handcuffed and got somebody. I'm like literally, I feel constrained even talking about this. I hope the cops don't come for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm paranoid everywhere I go.
But just in case they do, I kind of.
But where you switch the?
I don't really know.
You can switch the public settings on the video to friends, and that might keep the feds off a little bit more.
Maybe. Nah, I'm no threat. I'm just speaking my.
Scott, you get all that? Did you hear all that?
But.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and like just to reiterate a little bit, I agree with you. There are some things that I fundamentally disagree with. As far as, I don't think that Yvette and Tone are well learned in some of the things that they're talking about, particularly immigration and what other groups go through. Like, I saw them do a video on African immigrants, and I just thought it was hard. Like, they didn't know what they were talking. They didn't know what they were talking about. The truth is, well, I won't even get into that. But I'm just saying that I don't agree completely with everything they say. When I say ADOS, I'm referring to my elders like Claude Anderson and a bunch of other people who have worked on this for their whole lives, but Antonio and what Yvette are doing have taken something that has always been on our minds, and they've done the research and they use the data. Okay, Sandy Darity, they're using data to make a claim, and we should support that claim. And it doesn't have to be at the exclusion of immigrants. It doesn't have to be at the exclusion of other quote-unquote people of color. The two have nothing to do with each other, okay? But black people are in no position
to do anything but at this point but draw the line. You know, Barack Obama made it worse for us. Now the door is open for anything to come in and you know, because he didn't address any of the things that pertain to Black America.
Right, there's a vacuum, right.
It's gotten worse for us as far as politically, and we vote with our emotion. We don't do any studying. We don't know who we just do likability and emotionality, right? And these people are playing us. We're the ones that they laugh at. Like, and imagine Kamala Harris being the person chosen to represent. Like, they didn't even think. Like, that's how stupid they think that we are. You know what I'm saying? So why should we be subjective about politics and about how these things play out when everybody else is objective? All right, I'll tap out, man. I'm.
All right.
1, 2, 3. You're out of there, L.
Man.
All right, so coming soon. L's coming. Just a second, Scotty, and then you can have the last word. Because the guests always get the last word. Coming soon, L's Knowledge Battle League, where people get bloody sharing knowledge.
Whatever. Lancing, huh? They gonna be out there cutting niggas up.
Scotty,
Slice.
I hope you're not. I hope that this has been just a constructive conversation, brother.
It's the
If-
start of
if I-
it.
If I sound turned up, it's not at you.
I love the passion,
I'm
man.
just turned
Let it
up.
out. This is a healthy outlet. I
No.
support
This
it.
is a healthy conversation. I'm just turned up over the issue, but I respect your position, and I think that we should have a healthy dialogue, and that we should put everything on the table so that nothing gets misconstrued, or that things don't become, you know, we don't mix things up. And I think that's what's happened. It sounds like we're saying we want reparations and fuck immigrants, and that's not what's going on.
Hey, Scotty, we're gonna let you have the last word, man. You wanna weigh in again, or you gotta go? It sounds like you're babysitting. Shout out to your niece. You with your niece, man?
She's in the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to your niece, man.
Shout out. What time is it out there?
It's 9:29 out in Columbus, Ohio.
Say what?
Oh, yeah. Wait, I gotta turn this one.
It's 9:29 out in
Okay.
Columbus, Ohio. This one from
Okay, cool.
Buckeye City Stand Up.
I love Columbus. I love Cincinnati, man. I love Ohio in general. I've been through there a couple times.
I drove through.
I performed there. Yeah.
I understand L's frustration with me using. When I was saying the part about the like since 2008, I was talking about I was a Democrat in my early teens, and then after the 2008 election, I wasn't. Barack Obama was the last straw. No, matter of fact, Barack Obama forcing Dennis Kucinich to support the healthcare bill was the last straw. So I'm just put that out there. Now, as far as the whole thing of black people being used in like politics, I agree with you. Like that's that's why I'm saying that I'm hearing a lot of frustration and desperation with a lot of people. If you listen to Yvette's show and Tone Talk's show, like that's basically a lot of it. It's a lot of economic insecurity and desperation.
Of course.
And that's not like saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying, that's what it is.
Yeah.
My concern is that gets used in certain situations. It gets used from people who want to use it as a wedge to. I'm trying to find the right words to say this, because this is an interesting conversation to have. But the fact that Trump would use a man named Jamil Shaw, right, who was attacked by I believe an MS-13 gang member.
True.
Now that's a terrible thing to happen, right? But it was an MS-13 gang member. Why did MS-13 exist, right? Because the U.S. went into El Salvador and helped destroy that country. Along they would deal with Latin America. So when I'm talking about their reluctance to really address U.S. imperialism. That's one of my main issues. And also, when you like some of the rhetoric I'm hearing as far as like it being like anti-immigrant, because I'm also would be considered like ADOS pretty much. Like I've got a long family history. Of course, we got a lot of history here. Like I guess Ohio, West Virginia, like pretty much. I'm losing my train of thought right now, but what was I saying? I'm losing my train of thought right now.
No problem. No problem.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Scotty, I have an honest question for you right now. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you drinking?
No, I'm not drinking.
We
Are
are.
you smoking?
No, I'm not.
Are you completely sober right now?
Yes, I'm completely sober. I'm just looking to see what my niece is doing right now.
Okay.
Oh, you're distracted.
Yes, like I told you, I'm gonna cheer on my niece now.
Are you tired? Are you tired?
I'm alright. I'm good.
All right.
Well, what I was saying was, I'm hearing a lot of this rhetoric about, immigration and how it affects us. And your main.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything about how immigration affects us.
No.
I said politics.
I was talking about the rhetoric of like when I'm like looking online, when I'm looking at its own show, like at least the people that go in. I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
I think you've done. Honestly, I think you have done a better job.
Scotty, I told him the same thing too. I'm sorry to cut you off, bro, but I told him the same thing because there is no unifying set of politics that's unifying this ADOS thing. I'm seeing people on the reactionary end talking about it. I'm seeing some centrists talking about it. Go ahead.
Well, there's a presidential candidate that has it on the
Audience
agenda.
won't hear him unless he's up there, and he can hear you, and it works right up
Is
there.
anybody on?
No, but I mean, for the record.
My issue with what I'm seeing from the people other people outside of like L and who support ADOS haven't really connected the dots. And I'm not saying like, as far as like arguing for your own self-interest and not, not being used against, I understand that. And
I ain't fucking with y'all.
it's just that I'm worried that if the way it's going, if it's not focused, it can get redirected into something completely different.
But let me ask, if I may,
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
we're gonna wrap this up. But if I may, real quick, how is that any different from any other day as Black people in America? Because you're saying that as if we already have something or we have something working, and the whole, like again, we're being used as pawns in everybody else's struggle. That is dangerous for us. I get what you're saying about what the Republicans are doing. What I'm saying is we need to see where we fit at. We need to come into the room and have our own seat and have our own agenda. And this thing that this subjective politics that Black folks play, we cannot continue to play that game. We just cannot continue to play that game. We don't have anything to bargain with to begin with. So to say that, well, it's dangerous to play that game. Well, we don't have any other. There's nothing else left. We have no political power. We have no resources. We have nothing to bargain with other than each other and ourselves, and not allowing ourselves to be used by these two political parties. Trump is going to use whoever he can. Sure, do what you do. But everybody else seems to play that same political, again, subjective politics versus objective politics. We're the only group of people that plays subjective politics, and it disproportionately affects us more than any other group, right? I don't subscribe to everything that Yvette and Tone say, but reparations at this point should be number one on our agenda. And Marianne Williamson has that on her agenda. Whether she's truthful about it or not, whether she's, playing with the numbers, at least she has something on her agenda versus anybody else. There's nobody else. I mean, Bernie's cool, but Bernie is talking about this universal thing that doesn't address white supremacy. You talk about capitalism and capitalists. Bernie Sanders is a capitalist. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. He's a cool capitalist. He may not be laissez-faire capitalism, but he certainly is a capitalist. And he's not talking about changing capitalism. And by the way, nobody can change capitalism. So to take a stand against capitalism or imperialism is just ridiculous, because it's going to undo itself. Resources are not infinite, they're finite. So at some point, and climate change is going to change that. We can't do anything about that. But again, I got to come back to objective versus subjective politics. And we need to stop playing subjective politics. Not just because it goes against us, but nobody else does that. No other group plays that game. We're the only ones that play subjective politics. That's, there's no other way to put it. Sure, we're being played as pawns, but how is that any different from any other day of being black in America? That's what politics have always been. So we need to say, okay, this is what y'all doing. I need to, look out for me for now. And then when I get mine, I can help my brothers and sisters wherever they are. Whoever is going through what we went through, we can help them. But we are, I use the word fourth-class citizens, because that's what we are. We've got a foot, knee, gun, knife, and slug to our necks right now. We can't move, we can't breathe, we can't do anything. And we're sitting around here playing these subjective, oh, we're with this group, oh, we're over here, we're over here. We cannot continue to play that game. That's all I'm saying. We as black people cannot afford to continue to play this game. That's all I'm saying, because politics is a game. And everybody seems to know what the rules are except for us. That's all I'm saying. It's not at the exclusion of other people. But we're going to get the live in one day, Scotty.
Let's let him.
We're going to get it in. Or we're going to build together. We want you to come through for the build. Aubrey? I thought it was the Roots.
I respect your candor. I respect your position. We have slight disagreement. What I will say, as far as ADOS is concerned, in dealing with Kamala Harris, dealing with Cory Booker, and I've been hearing a lot of stuff about politicians got a black agenda. Tangibles 2020. I've been hearing a lot of stuff, stuff online, right? I think what would also be great is for the ADOS to actually come up with their own agenda and demand that from the politicians. And also, and I said this before, if you make Kamala Harris's identity an issue, as far as like her, whether or not she's American or she's based in Jamaica or India, that's not going to fly well with her people.
You don't get to. It's ridiculous.
Make her record.
You can get your own show. Just do this for like 3 hours. This is not your show. It's everyone's show. All right, go ahead, Mike.
Say the name Teresa Richardson over and over again, because I'm telling you, talk about her record as a prosecutor. That's gonna go pretty far.
They talked about that.
You guys can exchange phone numbers and talk on the phone for hours.
I'm just saying again. Now, I want
debate in person.
I want this whole thing, as far as ADOS, to work. I just think that it needs a broader analysis and how it carries. That's all I'm saying.
That's what's up. And Scotty, we're gonna wrap it up on that, bro. Hey, Scotty, I want to thank you so much for calling in, man. Your contributions are excellent.
Our first caller, right?
Right, absolutely.
Hey.
Out of state too.
Scotty, you going in the archives, man.
Ohio. We're putting the pin on the map, and then Scotty, when you come through, We're gonna take a photo and then you get that wall of fame.
Word. You go in the archives as the first call-in guest.
I want y'all to meet my niece Athena.
Dope.
She's 6 years old. She's the one, Mike. You've seen her a few times.
All right.
Hey,
Yep. I've seen the pictures.
Hold on. Hey, Athena.
Oh,
I want you to meet my friend
Put the video up.
Mike on
Go
Facebook.
back to Facebook. Oh, I think you're just saying hi.
What's up, Athena?
Hey,
Hi,
Athena.
Hi.
Hey there.
How are you?
Good.
What are you
She's
doing?
trying to get Lucky Charms right now. So.
Oh, I ain't mad at it. Those are bomb cereal. Lucky Charm cereal?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I used to let mine get soaking. I used to drink the milk and then let it soak and then eat all the marshmallows at the end.
Hey, Athena, don't listen to Uncle Mike. He'll only get you in trouble.
Hey
With
man,
your Lucky Charms.
hey Scotty, hey bro, that's too cute, man. We appreciate you. That's all love, man. Thanks for sharing with us, and I enjoyed this back and forth with you and Elle, man. We need more of this.
I enjoyed it too, Scotty. You know, it's always important for us to gain perspective and talk about these things. You know what I mean? It's healthy conversation, and I appreciate
It also
your.
helps with my public speaking stuff.
Say what?
I said it also helps with my public speaking stuff.
Okay.
Nah,
There you go. Yeah, we all can get sharper so we can get deal with these devils in the streets.
Yep. Ultimately. But yeah, bro, we're gonna sign you off now, man. We're gonna wrap it up at this point.
Alright, y'all. Peace out.
All right,
Peace
salute.
out. Good night.
Salute. Peace. He out there. They on Eastern time, so it's probably like 9 or 10 or
Yeah,
whatever.
it said
it
it was
is.
9 like an hour.
Yeah, that's what's up. But
So the plug and then events.
okay. So I forgot what the plug is. Oh, if you're selling something, or you got something.
Whatever you got to plug individually in
Okay.
us. What are you
It's kinda the
What are you
same thing,
working?
man.
What are you working on?
Yeah.
And then that could include the events. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you working on?
Upcoming things coming up.
Individually, collectively, whatever you want. And then
Mike,
for
you
the
got-
internet
you got-
too. So we'll give it to them first.
Okay. So yeah, just in terms of things that I got going on.
Let's give it to the
Wait.
family first, and then we'll wrap it up. Then we'll.
Say that I'm not. I'm
How
lost.
about this? All right, family. So we're gonna wrap it up, and we shall call this the plug. Plug what you've got. If you've got something going on,
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
promote, put the link up.
Music
and
shows.
music shows.
You're
events.
selling clothes.
If you didn't catch this live, you can circle back and plug it in. We really want this to be a platform for the community to put what they've got going on. So if you're in studio or if you're on the phone, you can call in. We'll give you like 10-second plug. Do your plug, and just drop it. Like they used to do the shout outs, right? So like this is a way to do community economics online, and then so we're gonna do our stuff and then give it a few minutes for y'all to do it, and then so that's what I meant. What do you
Absolutely. Okay. No, that's cool. Because we did talk about that. I just forgot. My bad. Skipped out.
think?
on it.
40 club.
Did we go 3 hours?
Damn near. Yeah, a little bit over that, which is cool. But
We're not
it went fast.
Yeah. So let's do the plugs so we can actually be done.
Anything you got coming up or anything you're doing?
I mean, my session will be after Mike's. It'll be. What did we say? April or end of March?
You tell me, man.
Still in the works.
Probably
huh?
April.
Probably April. I'll be doing a holistic health session.
I
We're
think
gonna
like the week of 420 is available.
That would be dope. That'd be awesome. Nothing like
Just coincidentally.
plants and plants.
Herbal supplements.
Plants and plants.
Plants
okay.
and plants. My food plants and other
Plant-based
plants.
life.
That's right. Live
Live
day.
foods.
Yeah, live foods.
That's what's up.
First comers will get free salads. I'll be doing presentations on different foods, nutrients, and just holistic health. Hopefully throughout the sessions in general, we'll be serving samosas. They're to die for.
But they help you live. That's what's ironic about them.
Not the samosas. They're just
Yeah.
great bar food. But the salads and the lecture and the presentation on holistic health, I'm looking forward to that for April. I'm not, I'm just getting into the social media world of virtual reality, so I realize that I'm gonna have to interact with it a little bit more.
Put your imprint
So
down, man.
look forward to look for my Instagram will be set up. I'll probably have to get a Facebook. Maybe I can do without Facebook. Maybe I'll
This is
just rock
so
with Twitter
begrudging.
and Instagram and keep it simple. As you guys can see, I'm very passionate about what I study, I have a lot of convictions in what I say. I hope it's not to offend anybody. I'm new at the cameras and being in virtual reality, but I'm
That's
here.
a good way to describe it.
I'm here to learn and share and network and build more than anything, and that's why we all got together. Live forever, embrace holistic health, and we've got a lot of big things coming up this year. You don't want to miss out. This is the ultimate FOMO. All right.
What's FOMO?
Fear of missing out. So you don't want to miss nothing we got going on. We have some transformational ideas and things that we're working on that
You can't. I don't think you can miss out. Because if it's not now, we're trying to record it. So there's traces, and you can pick it up anytime. And if it's trash, then build your own.
That's right.
But also, we're having a lot of fun. So
we are. This was fun.
We should.
Sometimes these conversations can get turned up. I won't say heated, but turned up
As they
should,
Right.
because we're talking about real issues. But we all have a lot of love and respect for each other, and we're here to build. And I'm just putting my 2 cents in, or putting my contribution in.
It's like $100 probably though.
For my contribution,
Right, it's like more like 2 cents.
$100 a game.
more
Is
like
that what
a
you
G.
said?
Let me
Ooh.
put my G in.
A rack a game.
All right.
Okay, a whole rack.
But I'm signing off. It's
felt like
L. Whatever, man. It's L, aka the mad social scientist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
AKA,
Wow, did you say hashtag too?
AKA hashtag
You're gonna
ADOS.
be on
Science,
social media
okay.
and he's talking about hashtags.
I'm not even
He's ready
social
for branding.
media.
He's ready for
And
it.
be your own person. Be a critical thinker. Don't be a yes woman or a yes man. Investigate and learn. Don't ever. We're always learning. The human experience is about learning. Okay, so that's what we're about. We're about learning and transcending this paradigm. We're here to do the work. We're giving this meaning, and we're creating a world where we can interact with each other and build something that's going to change the future for our children and for our people, all of our people. Okay, so that's my G. Signing out. Pass it on to Mike.
All right, man. So that's a lot to look up to. So I'm going to pale in comparison to all that. I'm going to just be real quick. So if you're in Long Beach, look me up. Facebook page, I put damn near everything on there. Not for my personal life, but just in terms of activism and things that I got coming up. So yeah, we're hoping to be relaunching the Long Beach Radical Reading Group project. So look for that. That should be coming pretty soon. We had some good success with that a few years ago. There's not a whole lot of other things coming up. We got the Long Beach Radical Film Series, but
That's a big deal.
absolutely, that's definitely a big deal. We're looking forward to that. So that's invite only. So if I know you, you'll probably get an invite. If I don't know you, let's talk. But yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much all I got. That's all I'm working on right now.
Some
So,
hopes for the future of some more stuff, but yeah.
yeah, for
Awesome.
sure. So yeah, definitely some things in the works, and hopefully as those materialize, we can go ahead and plug. And, just try to keep building here in Long Beach.
Awesome. Just want to thank everyone for participating.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for bearing with us on the tech. I've done my best to try to help the technology not be an impediment to the connection. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Let us know, leave comments, share, etc. Connect to the session group if you want live taping invites or event invites. The events are free. We just keep it so it's relationship based. It's very much fun, and it's a deeper and more enjoyable vibe. And what else? I think that's it. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Oh, just that March is there's gonna be some scenarios at Session House.
Lit.
The number for the call-in here is also the call-in for the weekdays, 562-888-0553, RSVP for Coffee House, free coffee, free tea, free Wi-Fi, 9 a.m. to
Can't
5
beat that.
p.m. weekdays, RSVP only, hit us up. And studio space, garden, yoga space, meditation space, workshop space, solo space, conference space, projector space, soundproof studio space. We look forward to you enjoying the time. It's all free, donation based, and suggested donation, and that's it. Let's build.
And then I'm excited to announce I'm brewing on a session retreat. So if people have ideas or where you'd like to go, let's do something within 2 hours of LA. Make it doable, all money in, be like $20 each, and we can get like a little pad and really cook and kind of decompress somewhere in Big Bear, Joshua Tree, etc., etc. So anyway, that's me. I love y'all.
That's what's up. So we signing off.
We're signing off next Saturday.
Ooh, maybe no promises. Don't
I don't know,
promise.
is there
Don't
much-
promise if you can't keep it.
You know
That's
how
not-
much.
that's not- that's
There's
not-
no put it
that's
like
not
this. There's no
public
shortage of things to talk about. But hey,
You know how
shout
much
out to everybody
you know how
out there.
much can
Much
happen
love.
between now and then.
We gotta cook. We'll be back if y'all want it. Demand it, and these guys will get Venmos. Then you can throw them. Actually, if you want to support the podcast, so at Session, it's the hat. All money there goes to all the co-host curators. Want to give much props to Michael Brown, L, holding it down. Black History Month podcast #1, and we keep on going. We appreciate y'all, and see you on the next one. Salute.